a good time with the family. All right. So we're going to get into the show again. Thank you for those who are watching, who joined. Definitely tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell them to join. Tell them to watch. Tell them to like. If you like to join the stream, you can definitely do so. I will be putting the link in the chat, pinning it to the top of the chat. And for those who are watching off of the channels of the gentlemen who are on the panel, you guys, if you pin the link to your chats, they'll be able to join that way. My only rule is be respectful. If you're disrespectful, you're getting kicked off. Period. Okay. Share to Facebook. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Coach, your supporters, your followers are here and they are doing what they need to do. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So this first one is something that I'm going to read, and hopefully I can keep up with both because it's it's something that I saw online, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to bring this to the men's panel. Sounds a little off to me, but that's just me. I'm not a man, so you guys are gonna have to give your perspective on this because, like I said, it sounds a little off to me. So I'm gonna put this up here, and then we're gonna get into it. I don't know if you guys can see this, but if not, I will read it. I am going to read it. Okay? This is from a guy. He says, I easily lose interest when I meet a good woman. I don't like a woman to be all over me. Even if you love me like mad, please. I feel like I want to read this in an accent. Please hold up a little. Okay. Don't suffocate me. Stress me once in a while. Once I feel I have you all to myself, I will definitely misbehave and lose interest. He says, it's something that's plain. It's plain, but I don't want to go too far because I don't want to go. Okay. He says, a woman who relaxes and allows me to love her while she reciprocates way lesser. Who doesn't become who doesn't become available anytime I want to see her, who pretends like she doesn't care, but shows it on rare occasions. A woman who has a mind of her own and doesn't tolerate any bullshit. He said, well, everyone has got their preferences. I'm more attracted to the hard to get girls. Naturally, I don't like women that confesses a lot of love, the ones that are willing to go to war for you. If I'm not chasing, I lose interest. And then, excuse me, someone else comes in and says, to be honest, I get your point. I get so uneasy whenever a woman is all over me, as you described. I start overthinking and start questioning her a lot because it's just weird to me. Most times I just end the relationship. The original writer comes back and says, again, it gets boring too. I prefer to do the chase. I prefer to do the loving while she reciprocates gradually. If a woman loves me excessively, I get very uneasy. He goes on to say, well, I prefer the opposite. I love when a woman gives me attitude, pretend like she doesn't care, while loving me surreptitiously. She shouldn't make it way too obvious that she loves me. It gets really boring. She never seen a man before. And so I saw a comment under this post, and this is what the girl wrote. I used to be a lovey-dovey girly, and I got my heart broken so many times. I got a new guy and decided to go the other way. I'm mean and no nonsense to him. No nudes, no video sex chat, because it's a distant relationship. I barely call. Ladies, this man keeps spending on me. He's always on his toes, never wants to upset me. I'm shocked. I love him, but I don't show it. And he treats me like the queen that I am. Ladies, I recommend never showing your affection too much. Just little doses and keep him chasing. Since I hacked this, I'm never going back to the old me ever again. So my question, my question is, Do men prefer the hard to get woman? Do they prefer the hard to get woman? Because this man was like, I don't want her all over me. I prefer to do the chasing. What do you guys think? Because I'm not sure if I've ever heard this before.
Man, I've heard it. I've heard it through women. Sounds like a woman perspective. And it comes from a lot of dysfunction, in my opinion. It just sounded like both the response and the man just had a lot of dysfunction, and the the funny thing is that it's very commonplace. It happens pretty often, and I, for the life of me, hear women all the time saying, "Oh, he's too nice," and that's kind of goes along the same concept and theory. So basically, and I've shared this with women who I've been in relationships with and otherwise. Oh, so I got to be an asshole for you to act right, and that's dysfunctional to me. But that's just my opinion and what I've seen.
Mm, okay.
At some point in time, we gotta grow up. At some point in time, we gotta grow up. That's that like high school, middle school, maybe college, you know what I'm saying, vibes type shit. You know what I'm saying? When you get older, so it's just like at some point in time, shit gotta change. Like mentality gotta change. Mindset has to change. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be willing to change. Like it's not like I think a lot of us too. I had a problem for a long time, not so much when a girl just show me love, right? But like growing up, my family is tough. My family is hard. We didn't like hug on each other, show each other a lot of affection and all of that type of stuff. So when I first started getting into relationships, that shit was like, it was weird to me because I was like, why you want to be all over me? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you want to be all clingy? Like, we don't need to be, you know what I'm saying, on top of each other all the time. Dang. But you know what I'm saying? I realized too that you also have to meet that person too. That person has needs, they have affection needs, they have those type of things too. So yeah, but just the chase game, making her chase me real quick. No, now I'm chasing her like that. Like that shit is like middle school, high school type shit. At some point in time, you gotta grow up.
Mhm.
Great. Coach Ferg, I see you over there. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah. I don't know how to respond to it. It was a lot in that little segment, right? Because Frank hit it right on the head as far as a man in his life. I mean, so he talked a lot about how he feel about it, right? But it also connects to a lot of guys didn't get that type of affection as kids in the Black community, and you sure wasn't getting it out in the hood. Wasn't nobody hugging up on each other out in the streets. But at home, when you look back, I would think this guy come from a single mother home, the way he even spoke about it, right? Because I think he's in the prime of his life. He probably gotten to a point where, I finally got some women. I got my money right, so now the women can see me. And I don't want to give up that type of life, but look at the trauma that he's inducing on the woman. Now, he might do 4, 5, 6, 8 women like that. Now, these guys trying to meet women, but like the girl said, I was like that until I got my heart broke. When a man and a woman in the Black community get their heart broke, most of them be stuck there for life. Whether they 16 or 36, you break their heart, they gonna send you through hell and everybody that look like you. So if they got your little funny looking kids, your son shit, your daughter ain't gonna have no motivation. She gonna be overweight. She gonna wear makeup, wigs, ugly clothes. But it's just unique how men in this space right now, men have always moved like that, but I think social media sort of gives it an ugly space in a sense because we're so called supposed to be smarter and move. Even though you see it, I think it should be a learning tool for other men and women to move opposite of that. When they start living that life, it gets messed up because we can't disconnect our emotions from personal life. And it's my last name. Most of us, we only got beef with people that look like us. Let that shit go. It's time to move forward.
Yeah, and listen, the word was dysfunction. That was the key word. It all sounds dysfunctional. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, the guy sounds like an idiot, and the chick sounds like something usual a chick would say. You know, that's what I'm saying. And the reason why I say that is it sounds like the ladies of today, you know, all they need is one piece of evidence that something worked, whether it's stupid or not, and all of a sudden that's the way it should be.
Mhm.
And you know, so they both just sound real dysfunctional. I wouldn't want a woman playing a game with me like that, and I wouldn't play with a woman that way either. So it's crazy. I mean, but I don't. It would be nice to know how old these people are.
Right.
I mean, not that you have that, but that's the one thing that's missing.
I mean, age does matter. However, like Coach Ferg was saying, once you get hurt, no matter if you're 15, 16, 22, 38, like a lot of people are just stuck there.
Yeah,
They're
but the key word is stuck, right? The key
Stuck.
word is stuck. I mean, because a lot of us have experienced hurt before in relationships. I think I got over mine pretty quick. You know,
Yeah.
But that's not the norm.
Yeah.
You know, like
But-
a lot of men when we get hurt, I'll just speak for myself too. Like when I got hurt in relationships, it took me like not it took me a while to
like,
get
what's
over the
a while? A
relate.
couple of years, a
Like
couple of relationships.
I would say I didn't date for at least a year. Like me, I just didn't date for at least a year. You know what I'm saying? That's just to make sure I'm clearing my mind. You know what I'm saying? Getting all that, you know what I'm saying, shit away from me, all that type of time off of me and all that, and just getting back to being me without
Right.
any type of that way when I come into this new situation, you know, when that new situation come around, I'm not carrying none of that old shit into this new situation. And so like, yeah, normally, man, I don't know. I just think it normally, especially when a guy loves a woman like that, like I think it take us a minute to get over, you know, a relationship when we was really
It'll be
invested
different.
in it.
It'll be different for
Right,
everybody.
for sure. For sure.
But in this situation with the video, I don't think the guys ever understood what love is about, what relationship is about. Like you said, Frank, you meet a woman new after look, he's showing how selfish he is, though, in a sense, because he prefer women to run from him, and he chases her, and he spends his resources, and then you know what I'm saying. And I can see where he's thinking, but at the same time, look how it's going to flip for the women. Cause she came right back like, I used to be all lovey-dovey till some nigga broke my heart. And now you niggas and every nigga after that go pay.
It's a never-ending cycle, man. Go ahead,
And
Sean.
that's part of the cycle is like we all just mentioned, hurt people. And Frank, to your point, you said it took you a while. Sometimes it takes men a while to even admit they were hurt, you know, and that in itself is part of the dysfunction. And the cycle does continue. Like I said, when I said it sound like a woman, I didn't even think about the woman scorn. It's just that's what I hear from women often. Oh no, he's too nice, and you know, and I just look how backwards it is, and I say what I said. So a person got to be an asshole to make you react. But to Mr. Letgo's point, that's when women act like children. And so therefore, to everybody's point here, it's immature. It's emotionally immature. It's very dysfunctional. And as long as you don't recognize it and identify it, the cycle will continue.
Yeah, his first line was I easily lose interest when I meet a good woman. It's like
It shows it bleeds.
lose interest when you meet a good woman.
Yeah, it bleeds.
Like, what are you talking about?
It bleeds hurt. It bleeds hurt. I mean, that's all. All identified in different ways. It bleeds hurt. I'm hurt. What he's saying, in other words, but he's not saying words.
Well, Sean, is he hurt or is he just an idiot?
Right. That's what I was.
I think.
I mean, it may be a combination of both. You know, he just might be an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, but I think he's an idiot because he's been hurt and he ain't recognized it.
But Sean, the way he's speaking about it, he got hurt at the house he lived in as a kid. The house he came out of, it ain't got nothing to do with a woman. This is just the mindset he's had. He don't understand the affection that a woman brings. If a woman like you, she gonna put that whole body on it. That monkey gonna be all over you. And the fact that he don't want that, because I'm sure he's coming in with his best performance, but then he prefer to drag him through the mud.
Yeah.
And so a guy like that, don't come back crying, man. Don't come back to the man side. Cry back to women ain't nothing. You putting yourself through it, man.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know, man. Ladies, don't do what she doing, because dudes, y'all, them young dudes, them niggas is psycho. Somebody might put you in a garbage can. Don't do that shit.
But
don't do it.
They never lied. You ain't never lied.
Yeah, they're attracted to each other. I mean, that
fatal attraction.
Yeah, that's a very fatal attraction. It's dysfunctional.
So in the beginning, like I was trying to share this to my Facebook and stuff, but so in the beginning, didn't he say he said something about losing interest, right? So what was it? He lose interest when the girl started to like him back. Was that what it was?
He said, "I don't like a woman to be all over me, even if you love me like mad. Please,
that's crazy.
British or something. Even if you love me like mad, please hold back a little. Don't fucking me. Stroke me once in a while."
You know, because you changed your accent, Precious. I that mad.
He's going about it all wrong though.
Right.
He should just straight up tell a woman when he makes her, look, I like you, you sexy, I want to bang when I want to. I'm gonna pay for it.
It's basically a lose-lose situation. It's because he said he wanted to chase her, right? Then so he chasing her, and then when he get her, he loses interest. Yeah. So she has to continue to act like I'm being chased, and I gotta act like I barely like you, even though I love you. Until that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
It sounds like stuff that women say. I have never heard really a man say that, man. Women say that shit all the time. But
I agree with that. I agree.
Could you bring his picture back up? He looked like he was in his mid to late 30s, man. He's
too old. He talking like
right.
He looked a little old though.
He's supposed to be a grown ass man
with a beard, and he got a whole beard, so it's a little weird.
This is him right here, but I don't know if you can see him.
I see him.
He looks old. He ain't young though.
No, I can't see that.
But ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to take note. Because Precious, you hit it twice. You when he said mad something another, that already showed where his mindset was. Made you want to change the dialect because you thought that he was mad. That just using that terminology shows a lot of his where his mindset is.
Well, I changed it because most British people use the word mad the way that he used it. Even if you love me like mad, like that.
I understood what you were saying, but most American, there's a lot of American men who say it as well. If you love me mad, like mad.
No,
listen, you might be talking about the New York news. The New York niggas be like, hey, yo, this shit mad wild, B. She love me wild, crazy, B.
Maybe you might be right. That's
right. My bad, Precious. I know you from the East Coast. That might be Philly and Jersey news.
We want Precious to try to speak in that accent, so we.
She knows she got that Jersey in her. She knows she got that East Coast accent. Be all right playing
English.
She's across the pond.
I like the accent as well, and you might be right, Frank. That is something common in the New York, slang. So that's why I automatically hit it. It's kind of like you say, "Yo, son," and then, if you speak in that way, you already showing me where your head is. So you're right. It could be a New York thing that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, but words have meaning. So he wrote mad. Now you gotta look at that. A woman see that word mad. What do sisters do when they get mad? They just sit calmly and talk about it. They're gonna bust the windows out of his car. You better watch what the hell he's saying and do. You can't do that to women today, man. Their emotions ain't stable. Come on, man. You asking for trouble. You asking for trouble as a grown man.
Even if you love me like that, okay? If he was from New York or somewhere, he would have been like, even if you got mad love for me, it's the placement.
It is the placement of the mad. It's the placement of the mad.
it's the placement. So what I will say is I agree with Frank on this one. I believe that, and I believe Coach Ferg hit on it as well. But I do believe that when you come from a family that's not affectionate, you're going to see that as something that's foreign to you. And when someone is like that, you're going to be like, hold up now. I need my personal space. And I don't need you all up on me. I don't want you always around. I don't need you always checking up on me and things of that nature. When you
But
come from
Precious,
a family like that,
I just want to ask you a question when you finish, though. It just couldn't wait because it would just hit me. So, right, coming from families like that, wouldn't I experience that in my early relationships and not 15, 20 years down the road? Should I still be thinking like I can't let a woman get close to me, but I'm still meeting women, I'm still sexing women, I'm still doing all that, but that's something I had, early coming out, early in relationships, but to be 10 relationships in, 15 years in, that's a little strange to me.
yes. You know, you should like I was saying, you gotta grow up. You gotta, you have to get past that. But if you are stuck in your ways and you feel as though it's working for you, then you're just gonna keep doing it. Like you're not gonna see anything wrong with it. You're not going to try to get a woman's perspective, or you're not gonna see how it's actually hurting you in the long run. Because it's almost like you want to keep like a 10-foot pole between you and that person. And then this woman who who loves you like mad, um, you're going to you're going to you're going to scare her away, or not even scare her away, but you're not going to be attracted to her unless she's the same personality as you.
Right.
They say opposites attract, but there are some people who are just alike, and because they are just alike, it works for them. And so he could have been with a woman that just wasn't all up on him, or who wasn't always texting him or all over him. It could have been a long distance type of thing. Like sometimes you just get used to the cycles that you're in and you make it work for you. And it's easier for a man to do that and not really grow this attachment with a woman than a man who grows an attachment with a woman and then his heart gets broken. And it's harder to recover from that, because now you have these moments, now you have these memories, now you have these touches, now you have all these things that are now in your Rolodex of memories, where it's like, you know what, I prefer a woman not to be all over me. I prefer her. I want to do the chasing. Like if I'm into her, I want her to do the chasing. I don't want her to be all into me, because that might bring on some problems that I really don't want.
Yeah. Hey,
That
hey,
could be a train of thought.
hey, coach, too, right? And Pressure said something in there too, like uh, um, when when you dating and stuff, right? More times than not, you dating, you're gonna be, especially when you're young, you're gonna be dating women who come from the same type of background as unless you get out. Unless you get out of that environment and things like that. So like my first time getting out of that environment was the first time that I experienced it. And that first relationship outside of it, I didn't know I didn't know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still like stuck in Kansas City, Missouri mindset, stuck in my family don't give me, my family didn't, we wasn't like that. And all the girls that I dated, we might have held hands, and things like that or whatever, did a little bit of PD. It wasn't over the top. And so when my first relationship, when I met a girl who was from like a different environment from the suburbs, like now her family customs are different too, because she was like Hispanic, so like they're all lovey-dovey, and then she's all like trying to embrace me like that, and I'm like, yo, like like I didn't really understand it, and it took me a couple of relationships to get used to being like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta show them the love, like they also need to receive the love. Like, we can sit next to each other on the couch and I'm perfectly happy because I feel like we're spending time together. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're good, we're in the same presence, we're in the same space. But then, you know, she might need to be like, I'm like, all right, nah, get off me a little
Your
bit.
legs up. Take your legs off of me.
Right, like, damn, nigga, you always gotta be touching, like, relax. But nah, but it took me a couple
You gotta
it
be
took
kidding me.
yeah, it took me a couple relationships to be like, oh, okay, it took me a couple relationships to adjust though.
I think,
Yeah,
like
that's interesting.
I think, you know, it really, how you grow up and the love that's shown or the lack of love that is not shown is a huge is how you show up in your romantic relationships. It really is, because it's all you know until you know something else. And so it definitely could be that too. It could be that he comes from a family where it's just like, you know, my mom didn't hug me. My mom didn't tell me that she loved me. I always had to call my mom. I always had to check up on her. I always had to see how she was doing. And so it's just a natural routine in him as a man. And a lot of men do go through that. They don't know how to actually, while men are givers, they don't know how to receive that love and nurturing, because it's not something that a woman, you know, the first woman in their life, the first lady in their life has, you know, shown them. And I think a lot of men do struggle with that. And they don't talk about that. They don't talk about not, you know, having those hot conversations, honest, open, and transparent. They just don't talk about those things. It's shown in their actions. It's shown in their distance. It's shown in their lack of words, or, you know, them not really being communicative. And those are things that need to be talked about, because when you are engaging in a relationship with someone, or a friendship, even a friendship at first, you know, when a woman notices these things, you know, that should be the opportunity to say, hey, you know, what was the love like in your home growing up? You know, did you guys show affection? Did you not show affection? Did you say I love you? You know, did y'all give hugs? You know, what exactly was it like? Because then you'll have a little bit of a picture of an inside picture of how love was expressed, received, and given. So I wanted to bring that here because, like I said, I've never really heard. I know men are the chasers and they are the aggressors in you know, a lot of cases, but I've never heard a man say, you know, I don't like a woman to be, you know, lovey-dovey all up on me. Like I've never necessarily heard a man say that. And you
It's rare. I think it's rare.
yeah,
Not rare in the sense that there's a certain percentage of men, but if you're playing around, you might hear it more. But I've never heard a person who's serious about somebody say that.
mhm.
You know, this guy might be just playing the field. You know, so that energy a woman might be giving him, he might be saying she's cock blocking. You know, she's on me. I got my eye on this other chick over here, and she's all on me. Man, we don't have that kind of relationship. You know, she might like me, but hey, you know, the deal is, hey, hold on, baby.
But that's why I said he should just go ahead and come in with that. I don't really want nothing serious if he's moving that way. Because think about if he's coming in. Listen, one thing about men, if we come a man that's gonna move like that, he coming in there laying it down. He know he laying it down. But then he get the woman emotionally all tired. Then he like, all right, no, come on, man, we can't do that. You know, you can't do that in today's sexual market. I'm just saying, y'all think about it. Any 21-year-old young woman meet a man, right? He play her like this, right? Now she's emotionally strong. She ain't got a good father like our pain to sort of balance it. She just out there winging it now. So she could go off and lose it. But then, you know what I'm saying, you can't play these type of games. He should just tell the women up front, this is how I move. When you don't fall in love with me, because I ain't ready to fall in love, and I'm going to keep it moving. He can get 5 or 6 women to go for that shit.
Nah,
He's
buddy
already
said,
saying, I'm spending the bag. He's like, I'm gonna wine you and dine you. Come on, man. You pay a couple of bills every month, you're good. They
yeah,
gonna
but
cook for you.
I don't think it's a clock blocking situation. I think that's just a mental thing for him. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mental thing for him. Like, you know, if you want to chase a woman and then when she starts to like you and show you love, yeah, that's really not a cock blocking situation. That's more of a, you know, this is what I need to stay mentally stimulated for me to be able to do this with
Yeah,
you.
well,
You
let
know what
me
I'm
ask
saying?
you. You're right, Frank. I can agree with that. But does he really like this chick?
It doesn't matter. He's
No,
playing
no,
the
no,
Yeah.
no,
game.
no, no. I'm saying, but when a person has that mentality, does he really like the woman?
It's possible,
But
but
she don't know that.
it
No,
could
no,
be.
no. I'm talking about him. I'm not talking about her. I'm
Yeah,
saying, does
it's
he
possible.
really? If you have that attitude that this guy has, does he really like that woman?
No.
Well, it's
Or
possible.
really more than like, does he really want that chick? I mean, because you can't keep that up for any appreciable amount of time
Go ahead, Sean.
from
No,
either side. But go ahead, Fer.
it's saying it's possible that he could like her, but it's possible, as we all identified, that he doesn't know how to love properly. But whether it was because he was hurt in the household, like Ferg said, or whether he was hurt in the relationship, somewhere he has some dysfunction that altered his perception of what love is, and so he might not really know how to love a person, and he might really do care for her but is afraid to care because the main thing about love is vulnerability, and a lot of us protect that vulnerability.
I think we're letting him off the hook, man. I think some affection that between men and women is so natural that it transcends some of these so-called traumas that we have.
But
I really do.
I
I
don't
mean,
think we I don't think
no,
go ahead,
it
go
ain't
ahead.
the bad thing. You know, it ain't the fact that he's coming in. Listen, man, this is just a dude that want to get some cheeks, man. I don't know if he really had cheeks when he was younger, but he's getting it now, and he don't want to let that go because he's already showing that if she shows a little resistance, he's already coming in like, "What's up?" You know what I'm saying? He coming in, he cutting out Frank and Sean. He cutting out the regular dude because he coming in with his bag first. He said, "I prefer to." Didn't he say take you out and do some things for you? So he gonna spend some money on you. He gonna sit you on the second roll at the game. He gonna do that. But then, and he's coming in with the package. He's laying down the package because everybody knows women can't just be with a man.
Got more credit than he deserves, guys.
No, I'm not giving him more credit. I'm just laying out the picture. I'm just saying the game that he's playing is the wrong game. He needs to just tell the female,
yeah, I agree with that.
that this is what how I'm moving, because these women are not emotionally stable, man. He come out there because he's coming up with new chicks every 90 days or less.
Every 90-day fiance.
He got a month rotation in his stable. So I'm looking at it from that point because that used to be me. But
Yeah,
what
you
he
got
has to do. But what I'm saying is you can't play it dangerously because he's out with the little chick there, and one of them other little chicks who thought they was in love see him out somebody. Man, it could be a bad scene. That's I'm just trying to avoid that. Don't put yourselves in there, fella. Just tell the ladies what it is and tell them you'll take them out and buy them a dinner every once in a while. They going all day.
and in fairness, again, he preys. It's almost like a predator. He preys on those who he can identify will tolerate and or who will be accessible to his that type of treatment. And so he looks for that. He does things like being rude, which for some reason, again, those who have been not involved, they are attracted to that. Oh, he told me no. Oh, he's doing this, like what that young lady said. So he recognizes that. He knows who to go to. And if they're naive because they haven't had experiences, it's a painful thing for them.
But
If they're
Sean,
the game, they're gonna play the game with them.
don't most women like to be chased?
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Most women like to be when a man chase them. They don't like to chase a man. So
Right.
it's like it's a difference. So he doesn't have to. The thing is, in that situation, if that's what he's, let's say, get off on pause, right? Just chasing like the chase of a woman. he don't have to tell them anything, because more times than not, you have to chase a woman anyway. Like, you have to go after her, you have to pursue her, you have to do all of those things. So
Mhm.
more times than not, the women that he's meeting, you know what I'm saying? Even let's just say he try to date up or down, don't even matter, on his level, whatever. Like, that woman is going to want to be pursued, and that's what he gets off on, is
Eh,
the pursuit of that woman. So it's not it's no type of predator type of situation, no way, because that's the almost the natural order of things. You normally pursue the woman.
Okay, well, when I'm saying predator, I'm not talking about the pursuit
Right.
entirely. I'm talking about maybe some of the uh, uh, actions or some of the methods that they're using. Like, for example, uh, men like that, and we all know what to say to get what they want. They sweet talk the hell out of a lady. And the
Right.
thing is, a woman enjoys being told she's the greatest and she's this and I'll take you here and, like you said, take you out. And when you're excited as a lady, what I found is that it's easy to lead them down because they already mentally there. They already attracted because that you did all of those things that they enjoy, all of those things that they like. So they're waiting for you to touch them. And as soon as you touch them, it's easy for them to climax until they get as we said, that first nut. What's that saying?
Post nut clarity.
Exactly. When they get that post nut clarity, then it's like, oh, these ain't rich crackers. These are just regular old crackers.
These saltines. I'm
Exactly.
dead.
Precious sitting here listening to us tell us how easy it is to bag a chick, man. You know what I'm saying? She say a couple of this and this and that.
Sean said he got shit. Sean said he got game, man. Sean.
I say it all the time. Once you express, I say it to women all the time. Once you express he can get it, whether it's in look or whether it's in your actions, you'll very relinquish your cookies. It's just now up to him to
Love
follow,
it or
to
not.
follow
Yeah,
protocol.
yeah. That's true. It happens too often for not to not be true. Yeah, well, there you go.
This guy, like I said, I've never heard it before, but it does sound like,
It happens.
he he would prefer the chase. And um I can understand not wanting I can understand not wanting I think too much up front for a man or a woman is a lot. Like I think that there should be a pace to things.
Mm.
Um because then it's like, okay, like from the woman's end, it's like, all right, are you love bombing me? Are you just saying all these things just to say them? And maybe from the man's perspective, it's like, you not my wife yet. Like,
Mhm.
you're not, I don't want you to consume all this energy as if we're already together, we're already walking down the aisle. Because that's, some women are like that. Like, they're talking to a man and they are like, all right, this my man, this my husband, this my, and there is no real action, there is no real
Mm.
test, there's nothing substantial that gives you that notion other than y'all been talking. There's been words passed between the both of you. And there are some women who do cling to a man, and the man is like, but I ain't want all that, not necessarily now, it's a lot. So it sounds like he could be one of those men too, where it's just like, before you get all clingy, let me do the pursuing, and you gradually, because he used those words, you gradually, reciprocate those things to me. I just don't know how you necessarily control that if you're both into one another. Like, if you're both into one another, how are you wanting her to gradually do? I would think it would just come natural. Like, the feelings, the in-person experiences, like those things would just come natural from your interactions and your, how you mix together, or how your chemistry is once you're with that person. So
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it could be a little hint of that too, where it's just like, all right, I don't want her too clingy, because some women can get real clingy and claim you as their man, and y'all only talk on the phone one time, and she like, that's my husband. Like,
Precious, you fall into
wait,
that cycle. That
huh?
cycle that is falling into that cycle that continues on. Like our pain has expressed several times. When a man knows, he knows. And if you can't identify and recognize that, you're part of this, you fall into that cycle. If you think that he's not true, you don't trust. And you're afraid. And he's very serious. And you won't recognize it because you've never seen it.
Mhm.
And not
Hey,
you specifically, but women in general.
yeah,
I
hey, women not the only one that.
what y'all say, huh?
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't take offense when Sean said not you specifically. I don't take offense to when you guys are talking. Like, there's nothing y'all can say where I'll be like, nah, that's not me.
But that's when you said you'll be afraid, red alert, that if he has his intentions properly and you're not ready for the intentions, let's call it what it is. You're not ready. But he knows, and he's going after it. I don't want
Facts.
a girlfriend. I want a wife. I
Mhm.
don't want to go back. And I've seen a lot of men who have done that, and I commend it. But that is, to your point, very overwhelming for a woman who, especially if she doesn't recognize it, or doesn't trust it, or doesn't, think that he's genuine with it. But if he's genuine, whether you think it or not, that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Frank, where you gonna go?
Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something along the lines of women not the only ones. Women not the only one who probably skipped the person that they was supposed to be with.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? This guy, I'm sure he met a nice woman or two along the way, and fucked it up. That's, that's all I'm saying.
But I think it goes back to Sean saying how men don't necessarily admit that they've been hurt. There are
Hmm.
men who you could tell have been hurt out of their actions, out of their lack of actions, or lack of words, or lack of expressions. Like, there are men who will do everything but tell you that they've been hurt. And you could just tell they've been hurt.
Yeah.
They won't commit. They don't want to get clingy. They don't want you to be clingy. They don't, like, you know what I mean? And if you naturally like somebody, why are you putting a limit on that? Like, why are you stopping that? So to me, that kind of is a red flag, because if the woman likes you, why would you stop that? Like, why would that be something of concern to you? It should be a natural, like, oh yeah, like that's how I know she's feeling me, that's how I know she likes me. But if you're doing all the chasing and you only want her to reciprocate or do whatever gradually, that it's easy for a woman like that to get caught up in your pockets too, because it's just like, oh well, he's spending money on me, I don't have to put in this effort, I don't have to, I don't have to give him hugs and kisses. I ain't gotta suck it. I ain't gotta do nothing. Like, I don't gotta do nothing. As long as as long as I'm, hey babe, every once in a while, he's okay with that. I,
And you're describing the cycle that we're talking about, and even some of the reasons why they get there. To the point that you made, a lot of times the hurt man gets hurt because he led with his pocket. He led with, and she took advantage of it, and she wasn't real. It's happened time and time again where man will go and get everything he think she's supposed to get, and he gives it to that woman who is just using him for what she wants, and there becomes that pain and that hurt, and it happens young. If it doesn't happen first point in the household, it happens usually when you're young and you're just into romance and all of that, and then all of a sudden you're real romantic, but you're usually romantic to the most superficial person there is, because she looks good, and there you have it. Now you're vulnerable, and that vulnerability is what we protect so often.
We might as well, could probably have a show on the title, The Hurt Man, because I know I hear people say, men are hurt. I'd like to, not this show, but I just think that a hurt man it manifests itself in some of the ways that we're talking about today, right? For the most part, when it comes to women, I think a guy who got hurt, he just most likely, the best term I could think of, that he steals his heart for the next woman. His heart is his heart is hard. His heart is hardened. He steals his heart because he understands the way he loves. Right? He might love too much. If you give it to this next girl, even if she's nice, he might be. The hurt is that he might be waiting for the other shoe to drop. This shit is too good to be true. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. It might, and that might start to impact the way he behaves around her and with her because he's waiting for her to turn at some point. And that's one of the reasons why men are afraid to get married, right? Because it's all great in the first 5 years, and then we stacking some bread and shit, and she wakes up and she's on Tamarind Hall saying, "I'm not happy no more.
I got a rock
Yeah. Or I got a rock." Or Tia Mary, "I'm not happy no more." So men are like, sometimes in these relationships, a lot of guys are waiting for the shoe to drop. Shit's going well, and then out of the blue, is he hurt or he's just cautious?
That excuse to me, I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop, or in 5 years
he's hurt, right?
I feel like that's a cop out too.
Okay,
I really do, because the person that you marry on Valentine's Day, your birthday, Thanksgiving, whatever day it is, to 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, there are going to be changes. It's the person not willing to look inside themselves and say, you know what, I am with this person, and whatever the situation is, I'm going to face it with this person. I think that a lot of guys do get caught up in the or some guys, I'm not going to say a lot of guys, but there are some guys who do get caught up in the, I'm going to do whatever it takes for this woman, and I'm going to give her everything, and I'm going to be everything that she needs. And the woman does shit on them. The woman does, take them for granted, or the woman does just take it too far and they're not appreciative, or they may do something that belittles him, or makes him question his manhood, or whatever the case may be. If you're dealing with a woman like that, or you have dealt with a woman like that, then you need to stop dealing with that woman and go on to the next one.
Yeah, like, but you don't carry that baggage. I mean, we say he might carry. How does he? No, you're right. But we're talking about the beginning of this whole conversation is about the hurt man. So I'm not saying you're wrong. Mm-hmm. At some point, he's got to deal with that hurt. But does it have to? But how do you get to the point where you could trust again, right? So it's not just the hurt; it's also
you have to trust yourself. You really have to trust yourself when it comes to relationships.
You have to recognize.
You have to trust, right. You have to trust yourself. So if you didn't recognize that in the women that you were with, right, then you need to do some real soul searching and say, okay, where should I have said no? Where should I not allowed X, Y?
What sign did I miss?
The thing is, when a person goes into that direction, they're opening. They're usually open, very, very vulnerable, and go straight in with what they understand to know and they're being honest. So what happens is they lend that vulnerability to a hyena, as they would call them out here on these streets. And to your point, they do get hurt, but it wasn't that they didn't soul check. They knew themselves. They was very genuine. They was very, some might call them naive, but they was very genuine. So they knew what they were doing. They knew themselves. They just didn't understand that everybody wasn't genuine with them. They didn't recognize the hyena. They thought that it was a sheep. They thought, I don't know, but
you said the word though, naive, right? Naive is believing something. Is believing that the inevitable is not going to happen, right? So it's like, okay, you identify this hyena or this woman that is most men. Okay. A lot of men that I have talked to or been in communication with, and they have been married, they're not married anymore. They're like, oh, I knew she was like that. I knew like she showed me signs of that before we got married, or she showed me, signs of this while we were in college or in high school or whatever the case may be. And it's like, okay, so you're being naive. What's the reason that you chose to stay naive? Sometimes
Well,
you have to look at yourself and not say, oh, you know, because a woman's going to be a woman, just like a man is going to be a man, right? But the man is the one who is the creator or the initiator of the relationship piece of it. And so when you say, oh, men don't want to get married and things of that nature, it's like, oh, I don't want, I know I made some mistakes, right? And it's like, do I go down this road again? Am I strong enough to handle another situation? Am I wise enough to handle, or do I just want to be single and live my life and not really have to deal with any of that?
well, what you're saying is part of why. I mean, it identifying a lot of the pain and hurt, and just because a person, like you said, naive, that naivety, wasn't specific to them.
What do you mean?
It was just trust that they entrusted into a person, and we're calling it naivety, but it's not. It's you trusted somebody who was untrustworthy, and that's not
No,
on you.
when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So if
But
you don't believe them, then what is that?
But the whole thing is, they usually are showing you what you want to see, not who they are.
Right,
And
but
by the time you
We can't
recognize
fall.
it,
We can't, Sean. We can't. We
yeah,
can't. I'm
like,
sorry.
if
We
they're showing you
can't.
who
I'm
they are,
sorry.
and you continue on in a relationship, you still
Uh,
doing, you still spending, you still being inconvenienced. We got to look at ourselves and say, I'm part of the problem. I'm a huge part of the problem. And so you
100%.
can say, oh, I'm hurt.
I,
I'll wait for the other shoe to
I,
drop.
that's the normal thing that we do. If somebody's lying to you, you don't sit there and blame yourself for their lies. But we seem to always justify we should blame ourselves for a lying person.
No,
No.
that's not even what she's saying though.
If someone shows you exactly who they are, example, right? If someone says, I need you to take me to this place, all right? And this place got your ex-boyfriend there, right? And you see the ex-boyfriend there, and you're hurt. You drive away hurt, but you still continue to be in this woman's life, and you still continue to do things for her. She showed you she don't care about you. She showed you she'll put you in a compromising situation. She showed you that she really don't mess with you like that. But you continue to mess with her. Who's lying to themselves at that point?
Right. And it works both ways, bro. It happens both
At
ways.
that
Like
point,
it Sean, my bad. It happens both ways, bro. Like you sometimes like I think people go and they say like, well, I was with them for a whole year and a half, and then all of a sudden they was a narcissist. Like, first of all, most people don't even know what the real clinical diagnosis for a fucking narcissist is. That's number one. But after that, it's just the same. It's like, so in that whole year and a half, this person never showed you nothing, not one thing. It's just absolutely no way. If you went and this woman was, let's just say that, you know what I'm saying, she was just hiding her phone all the time, hiding her phone. Like, and you was like, oh, you know, it's all right, because I ain't gonna go on their phone. No way, it's all good. Like, literally, you just look past the sign of like, yo, she's just literally hiding her shit, and you just was like, oh, okay. Like, now when a year later, when you see something pop across her screen, you like, oh, damn, you been doing it. Like, yeah, she been doing that shit the whole time. Like,
I agree with what y'all are saying. At that point is the thing that I'm really specifying. At when that point comes up, or when you recognize that, where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally in that relationship? You've already made the mistake on believing a liar. Now you've
But
already disarmed yourself and became unguarded, and they took advantage of that vulnerability. That's where the pain comes from. I agree. Now when you went at that point is what we're speaking about. At that point, a lot of times you're already vested, and it's not
gotta go.
easy as just shutting it down like y'all say.
Right. So then it's on you. Then it's on you after that.
I agree that at that point, you are responsible for. I agree, but what I'm saying to everyone is that we sit here and act like we immediately, as soon as once we're vested and got emotionally attached and got the D or gave the D, you're acting as if that detachment is easy.
No, but what y'all say?
That's not what we're saying. That's
But
not
it
what I'm
should
saying.
be. That's what
But
I'm saying.
I
Okay.
think there's two. I'm sorry, Precious. Go ahead.
I'm saying that it should be easy. It should be easy. And I know that it might sound foreign to some people's ears, right? Like, oh, but we already got invested and I, the D and the P and all of that. But at the end of the day, when someone shows you that they're not for you, or they're not, you want a certain thing in your life, or you want your life to go in a certain direction, and they're just not going in that direction, it should be very easy for you to detach.
Yeah,
It
yeah, but
should be.
that's again, that's like saying a divorce should be easy.
You know,
A divorce, a
No, a divorce is not
divorce
easy.
yeah.
isn't easy. It's actually written that it's the gnashing of souls, and so I can't say that a divorce is easy. I've never been through a divorce, but I
That's
do know, but I do know that when you make a decision of not wanting something in your life, then you should be able to move in a certain direction. So if you want a divorce and that's what you want to do, then you need to have your mind set on doing that, get your money up, do what you got to do, and go your way. But when you say it's not easy, that means 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more years of what?
doesn't mean that. It means
Well, Precious put up Kasim's comment at the last comment there, the bottom one. Yeah. Yeah,
A man must reach a point in his life to where he is no longer naive to female nature, and it needs to happen as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
and,
I
and
think
is
that's it right
That's
there.
written in the
and the
Bible
funny
too.
thing
Do
is
it quickly. Do
the,
whatever you got to do
the
quickly.
funny thing is why we always go through this cycle is because we deem it a nature of a female, when in fact it's the nature of a hurt female, and we don't recognize and we don't say that. We sit
But
there.
so,
Usually the nature of a female is being nurturing, but usually not nurturing. That's the
so,
nature of
so
female.
I think both of y'all. I can see the different points. In a situation where, to what I believe, if I heard Precious and Frank, if I'm chasing a woman, or if I like a woman and she forces me to chase her by her own actions, and then I choose to chase her, and I see how she's moving, and it's contrary to what I believe in, and I'm an alpha man, and she can't do that, and then I get in a relationship with her and marry her, I'm the fool. She showed me who she was.
Right.
Now, Sean, have you been the guy that chased a woman and she sort of played you on the end, and you found out that Frank was over, giving her the Frank, and then she broke your heart?
That was double tapping.
I've been in that situation. I've been in the opposite situation, where I was that person. Those who can't trust can't be trusted. I was that person who couldn't be trusted as well. So the
Right.
point that I'm making is from understanding how I got there and why I got there. And so sitting there talking about, oh, it's easy to cut off. That's
No,
bull.
no, no. No
So,
one said. No, we
right.
didn't say. No one said it was easy. The point is. The point. So think about all the people who have been in relationships with somebody who have wasted their whole 20s on somebody, most of their 20s on somebody, like going into their 30s on somebody. Sean, like, we're not saying that it is easy. We're saying that once you start seeing the signs, let's just say you saw the signs a year and you decided to stay a year after. Okay, you decided to stay a year after. You did not let that person take 5 more years of your life. Like, the only thing you can't get back is time, bruh. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you let this person take up another, you
2, 3,
recognize
4
it, and then you
years.
let this person take up another 3, 4, 5 years of your life, knowing that this person ain't shit.
Gotta
This,
go.
this, this he
I,
been an
I,
ain't shit nigga since you got with him, and he's still an ain't shit nigga now. Like, you should have been gone. Is the point? We're not saying that it's easy. We're saying that it should be easy.
and I understand that. What I'm saying is, I don't blame anybody for taking anything from me ever. I allowed it. I gave it up. And if I'm sitting there blaming them for my giving it up, to your point,
No, I
then
agree with you.
Yeah, but the point is that it doesn't always. It's not as simple as when you identify and recognize something that you jump out of it, unless you're just unless you don't have any sentiments and feelings. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying the process is different for circumstances, and I can't
Well,
always.
The problem is, I say this.
what he's saying is it's easier said than done. I mean, that's the whole
Yeah,
process.
yeah, but we I know, and we're
That's the whole conversation.
yeah,
It's
we're
easier said
saying
than
that
done.
we're just saying it shouldn't take 5, 6, 7, 8
I
years of
think
your
I
life.
think that really hurts women though. That time frame you're talking about,
Exactly.
that's a woman's thing. I
It
warn
hurts
them
both.
about that a lot.
It hurts both though. It
It
hurts both.
does not hurt the man as much.
It doesn't hurt them the same, but it hurts men because a lot of men.
It didn't hurt men. I'm saying
just saying
it hurt women the most.
I mean,
because they have a biological clock. I mean, men don't react.
but most sisters really have they 2 or 3 kids before age 28, 29.
We're not talking about women.
But they play house.
I'm talking about women without kids. You know,
they can't. Yeah,
without kids. It's not a woman who already hit a biological clock. It's a different kind of woman.
Yeah, but even with, I agree with that wholeheartedly. That's why we're saying today's modern people, y'all can't afford to do that. And if you're moving out of fear, which most people move out of fear, you're going to just walk yourself right into a whole lot of unnecessary trauma. That's all.
That's true. That's all true.
And that fear is what I'm really speaking to. The way I look at it is, if you enjoy the person, love the person, whatever the case may be, why did you enjoy that person, love that person? And that's kind of to all of your points is identifying what made you pick that booger. Plain and simple, because it's your booger. You picked it. So what made you pick that booger is really what y'all are saying, and you got to have that awareness and self-reflection. And that's why I say they didn't waste your time. As a matter of fact, it just took you time to learn this lesson. So you have to take accountability that and think of it as a blessing that you finally got that lesson, as long as it took or as short as it took. But don't sit there and put it on them or that. Yeah, you identify that they was horrible, but there was something about them that you liked. And that's what you got to figure out. Why did you like this person? What did they do to make you love them? Did they sweet talk you? Did they throw it on you? Did they spend money on you? What was it? What was your vice that made you love this horrible or this person that wasn't worthy of your love?
Well, I think that's what I initially started off the conversation with saying. Like,
Marcus.
identify, you can't say, I'm scared to love and I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. You have to identify those things in which you are scared to love, or why you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. What was it in your past relationships? Whereas now, like, I'm not trying to do that, or I'm not trying to take it, any further than dates, or, just having a good time with you. Because there are men who have gotten hurt so badly that they just want to date for the rest of their life. That's where they good at. They just coasting, and that's where they'll stay. But at the end of the day, it's like, how long you going to do that? What, you going to be 60, 70, 80 still just dating women? And I'm not saying that men can't do it, because of course you can. Of course you can. But at the end of the day, again, when you need somebody to really take care of you because you're failing in your health, or you can't move like you used to back in the day, you're going to want somebody to be there. And there probably are women that you have passed up that really want to love you, but you so scared that you can't even receive it. You can't. And so when these women go their own way, or they stop messing with you, you got to ask yourself, like, dang, did I mess this up? Was I too closed off? Was I too scared? Men have to ask themselves that question, because you can't tell me that you never ran into a woman who truly wanted to love you, but your fears kept you at bay. That happens, especially older men. It happens a lot. And so there's nobody that you can really look to or blame. That you just gotta look within yourself and say, okay, where did I go wrong? But if that's the life you like to live and that's what you want to do, then hey,
I agree,
power to you.
and sometimes people enjoy that lifestyle.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's very highlighted in this society. It's called transactional
right.
relationship.
But it's gonna get old, just like you.
But again, transaction. As long as you can have the transaction, you can always purchase what you want.
Right. But again, in my opinion, it's gonna get old, just like that person. You
Okay,
ain't getting no younger, and the game ain't getting no younger. The prices might go up, you
and
know.
They going up.
you got to pay the inflation.
Again, to each his own. To each
Sean, what the hell are you talking about? I'm lost here, man.
oh,
What I'm saying,
Hey, Sean, you getting called a sip in the chat and everything. What's
yeah,
what's going on, man?
I don't pay
it's,
attention to
it's
Marcus. I
no,
don't because he doesn't identify what I am. I identify actually I feel the other way around when he said
You gotta watch how you say identify these days. You gotta,
I mean
you
I ain't worried about that. But the point being is to your point is that you're right. I don't think that it's one way or the other. And it takes work from both parties. And that's the reason why a lot of people do not have relationships because both parties don't agree on or invest the type of work that it takes. You usually find one party investing heavier than the other party. Now, to your point, Precious, if in fact that does get old, I get it. But the point is, you got to identify somebody who's willing to get old with you with that. So I agree with you. But unfortunately, in this day and age, a lot of people uh, are hardened and will stay hardened and don't care and don't mind being hardened. They will
well,
sit
no,
there.
I think that there are women out there that will just date too. But you
I
got to find those
agree.
women.
I,
You got y'all have to find each other. And then at the end of the day, hey, maybe y'all might, settle down and get married because y'all wrote it out to the sunset. But
But those
again, you're probably old when this happens. And so now it's out of desperation. It's like, all right, you here, I'm here. Let's do this
but
thing.
that's
even
called
younger women, Precious, that move in that capacity are already hardened too. No matter what age, if she's moving like a man is moving, like with her dating progress, she's already hardened. Because believe me, she's one of those girls that guys that who maybe can't even afford her will have to chase her. Kendra G is you chasing her. That's what she said. You on her roster. And dudes are simping enough to pull up and chase her and then complain on it on the back end. You have to
Yeah.
avoid women like that. She's already cheerleaded out to the world on national TV. All of us wish we could have 15 minutes of fame on TV. She got her 15 minutes and she told the world, ladies, if you follow me, you're going to 304 it to the end. It costs that money. And dudes are going to do it. And it's going to harden a lot of women. And it's going to put brothers in a compromising position because the world is going to change in America. The Olympics is coming and brothers getting their shit together go be able to fly like an eagle. The dudes that still simping and crying, they're going to struggle. So,
All right. Let's change it up. So we're gonna get into this next video. I had posted this on my Instagram page, but I want to get you guys' opinion. It is a men's panel. Now, women are welcome on the panel as well, so don't be scared. Don't be scared. Thank you for everyone who is joining, who have joined, who are watching. There was another comment Kasim had put up. It's been a while, Kasim. I hope you're doing well. He says, I think a man loves the same woman all his life, even if she takes the form of different women and she is him.
That last part I don't understand. And she is him. I don't know what that means.
I'm not quite sure either.
But if we cut that part off, the rest of it I understand.
yeah, I understand. I don't agree with the first part, though.
You don't?
No,
Okay.
because you met women. I ain't gonna say you, but guys have met women. Might have had a couple-year relationship, and distance came between or whatever situation, and then he meet another woman and marry that woman, and life is great. You know, he might think about that woman from time to time.
But he said, I think this the first part kind of says that you like the same kind of women, even if it's different, right? The first
I don't know if he's talking about a kind of woman or that particular woman. I looked at it as the particular
If
woman.
we read it all together, right? The same woman all his life, even if she takes the form of a different woman. So some men have types. Like Kanye West is marrying Kim Kardashian every day. He finds a new woman. She looks like Kim.
But he likes to chase, though. Kanye likes to chase. He likes to simp it out.
I'm talking about the type. So I mean that could be part of it too.
Yeah, both are right. It depends on whether it's the physical type or whether it's the character.
Character type.
What he's speaking about is the character that a man falls for all the time. But some of the characteristics that men like, to your point, are physical. And that's very superficial, but there's a lot of
yeah, that's so funny though, because when I think back, man, I just called me. I was like Jack in the Box, man. Whatever the prize was inside there, man, was cool with me. Whatever the prize, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have no real type, man. I'm serious, man. If you interest me, I don't care if you're short, tall, black, what.
You were just happy to get a sister to like you, huh?
Just happy to get a sister to like. Yeah,
that's Cracker Jacks, by the way, not Jack in the Box.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
That was a good catch. Good catch.
Alpine, you ain't dated since women was wearing slips. Hey.
Oh, I mean,
women don't wear slips. Hey, I was gonna ask you, women don't wear slips no more.
Hell no, man.
The Spanx? Was Spanx?
No, they were just slips, man. They were just slips, man.
Right,
you too young. You too young to know.
Yeah, I was talking about the Spanx. I don't know. You're right. You might be right.
No, they might wear something that already got the slip in it, but they definitely not purchasing a separate slip for the shirt dress. Okay,
funny as hell, man.
I remember my little white slips.
Oh man, that's funny.
Precious baby picture coming soon, y'all.
Oh no, okay. All right, so I shared this video on my Instagram page, and I wanted to get you guys' reaction. Now, it might be the same as the guy in the video, or it may not, but I wanted to get your reaction because I thought this was a pretty cool video for the son who was asking the question. So I wanted to get you guys' reaction.
You say first in the house fire, given the hypothetical situation that both Dad and I were equally difficult to save?
I'd care for you, but I feel bad for your father.
Dad, who would you say first in the house fire, given the hypothetical situation that both Mum and I were equally difficult to save?
I'd save your mother first, so we had a better chance of working together to save you.
What do you guys think about this? Mom says, I go for you, but I feel really bad for your dad. And Dad says, I go for your mom, so we have a better chance of saving you. So what do you think the son took from his mother and father's answers? Because they were different. What do you think, as a young boy, young man, what do you think he took from those answers?
Well, I mean, it's clear, and it's probably more true that the woman would probably save the kid over her husband, and the man might save his wife over the kids. That's what I took from it. And he was saying, man, Dad, my mother loves me, but Dad, he could throw my ass away. He could make another one with my mother, So,
is that what you got from what he said?
Well, he said, listen, if I save her, she can help me save you, but by then it might be too late, right? If you only because the scenario was you can only save one, right?
Right. If
he's saving his mother, the son is gone, right? So.
Man,
but what I got is so many things in there. The woman will save the kid. Hell with your husband. I get another one. I'll bust down another dude later on. I'll take his money, get another guy. But I have you, son. To remind me that I used to have a husband. And then the dude says, I'll say, I don't know. I think the dilemma would be different for men. I mean, I think I'd save my kids, but that's a different kind. I know the woman would most likely save the kids and just let me like fall off the cliff and bust my head and let the blood go all out all the place.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, 'cause, you got to spend a lifetime making your wife and your spouse realize that, you know what, the kids don't come first. Our relationship does. They got to be constantly taught that shit. Men, maybe not so much, but I don't know how, man. I mean, I think that the answer for us was like that man said. I think it's a little bit more difficult. So he tried to game the system by saying the way he answered. Because he said, "Man, my son is a wimp too. If I say I save him first, he probably go back and tell my wife."
So is your question?
Little pansy ass little kid. If I said I save you first and mom will die, he'll probably go back and tell her. And I don't want that kind of smoke. So I don't know. I'm just joking now, but go ahead. Somebody else come up.
Well, you asking, what do we think the boy felt? I don't know. But
what do you think the son took from his mother and his father's responses?
I don't know, because it depends on where the son's mental was. Why was he even asking that question in the first?
This is a movie. I believe.
I think I didn't see that. It was a movie. Yeah.
Sure, bro. We can't go into why he was asking.
No,
we don't know.
That's my point. I don't know what the little boy was thinking, but the principles of what was said is biblical principles, and that is overlooked often. Yeah, that's when Eve bit the apple is similar to her making a choice of, I'm doing this instead of that. Not doing what was laid out to do. Do it by how you feeling. Okay, and what the man did is how it was laid out. I have to be cleaved to my wife, and then you, are to be our responsibility as one. So it's really a simple principle that they're just displaying on screen.
I guess you could look at it that way.
Yeah, man. I mean, I thought about it a couple different ways, man. But our pain made some very. Both of y'all brothers just made some good sense. But yeah, I thought about it a couple different ways, man. And I think about it coming from a kid's perspective. A lot of times, like, I think kids may think that, and this is just a little bit different, but I think a lot of times the kids may think growing up that their mom loved them a little bit different than their dad do. Just because the mom is normally, she's not the disciplinarian. Normally, in most families and households, especially if it's a 2-parent household, the dad is normally the disciplinarian. Whether it's sports, your dad is hard on you. You know what I'm saying? Education, your dad is hard on you. And now your dad say, well, I'm gonna say your mama. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, I get the Bible aspect of what you're saying, but it's like, okay, and now my mom is saying that she would save me, and then we will work together and try to get my dad. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, no, I'm just saying because what I'm saying, because from the dad's standpoint, the dad was like, yo, me and your mom will work together to try to save you.
Said, yeah. Sorry for you. I'll feel sorry for you.
Yeah. She said, yeah. But I'm just saying, at the same, so he's like, yo, like, yeah, you could just see that coming from a kid, like, damn, my mom really do love me more than my dad. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the pops is a disciplinarian like that. That's where I took it from.
Listen, all these guys, man, I don't have Frank said what I was gonna say, Payne said what I was gonna say, Sean said what I was gonna say. And, I just look at it, I would love to see this with a black family. See the dynamic with a black family. You know what I'm saying?
I think that the black mothers would say the same thing she said, like, I'm gonna save you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you go underneath these posts and you see, different comments, most women, black women, will be
save the child first.
Save the children. I don't care. Nobody come before my child. Well, if you married,
but she wouldn't. The black woman, the difference is that she wouldn't say the second part. she wouldn't say the part that I'd missed his asshole. You know, she'd just say, "I'll save you because I love you," and that's it.
I can find you another daddy.
Yeah, shit. You know, we'll find you another day.
Sean gonna take care of you. He down the street.
I'll save you, son. We'll just
Here
find you
I
another
come to
father.
save the day.
We'll just move in with him.
He got the cape on his shit.
Man,
The black woman would absolutely say, "Don't worry, we'll find another one of them."
yeah.
So
You know what's funny? I literally saw that clip, and my comment was something like, "Yeah, that's typical because that's why men say they love harder because we're sacrificing naturally before you even think to sacrifice. We're sacrificing for you more so than you would ever think to sacrifice for us, and this is why we are so hard sometimes, and why we do stand on certain principles that you won't ever understand because we are already coming in it with a whole different mentality that we got to save everybody. We got to be mindful and considerate of everything. So you're not even thinking about that. You're thinking about your things, the children things. You ain't thinking about everything, which includes me in that. But me, I'm thinking about everything, which includes you, that child, that cat, that house, everything we're thinking about. So our gambles are a lot different. So I'm not expecting you to understand me. I'm not expecting you to agree with me. I'm not expecting you to always be on board with me. Again, I'm not expecting any of that. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting you to leave the scenario or leave me abandoned, like you just said. I'm expecting that. So I'm prepared for your mother saying that is what I would say to
No,
myself.
no, you're not, Sean. No, you're not. Stop it.
Absolutely.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay.
Why? But,
so who would you save?
You said who would I save? I
Yeah.
I would do what the man said. I would save my wife and we'll save the child. Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't be I even though I like the concept of F them kids, but it wouldn't be because of F them kids. It'd be because again that's who I think is the most vulnerable in the situation. Because my son, if I prepared him properly, should be able to um, be better off than his mother because he's stronger. Because that's what we raised him to be. He should be able to save himself and prepare that to for that. So am I gonna? Yeah, I'm gonna go towards his saving his mother before I save him. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Um, you know, and what Sean was saying is correct as far as husbands seeing the whole and not just a part, right? She saw a part, like, all right, well, if I had to save anybody, you'd be the part of the puzzle that I'm going to save when a man thinks about the whole. And what the whole is would be the unit. The unit is the husband and the wife. And yes, sad to say they can make more children. Like, you know what I mean? Like if that son was to drown or, something tragically happened to him, they would be able to reproduce. Um, but you don't know if you're gonna find another spouse. You know what I mean? It's not set in stone that you can find another spouse, someone that's going to be there with you through better or worse, rich or poor, the whole shebang. Um, now I don't want to seem heartless, um, but I definitely would try to save my husband. I definitely would try to do everything in my power to save him and have the same attitude as the dad so that we could save the child. Two is better than one. And her and the son is 1.5 in my opinion. That's 1.5. That's not two. So I'm definitely with the dad. And it's just that hierarchy. My parents made it very clear when we were younger that me and my brother were not going to come before their marriage. They made that very clear, like verbatim. Like, this is
Wow.
wife, and you're not going to come in between that. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to make me choose you over her.
Wow. And that's like, again, biblical principle, but you made a point that I didn't really acknowledge that is very part of that principle, which is we can recreate with one another. I cannot do anything but spend time with that son.
And then he's going to go away and he's going to create his own life and get a wife, and you're going to be sitting there while you probably regret that you didn't try to save the man that you were married to, or the one, vice versa, the woman that you're married to. And so those are principles that are not taught in today's society. Most women will save their children. And
Yeah.
then especially if we talk about Black women, there's definitely, I mean, that woman was white, so we can't just say just Black women, but in our culture, women believe that children come before men. Even the simple conversation of, oh, who get they play first? Oh, my kids gonna eat first. My children gonna eat, but we never ate first. My dad always ate first. That's just for the house that I was raised in. We never ate first. What? Even when we have family gatherings, whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or something at the house. Now my dad has done he has courtesy for the family, but in my head, I'm already thinking like, oh, dad gonna get his plate first. Like, I'm not even hopping in line. I mean, I might hop in line because I'll be hungry. Thanksgiving, I gotta get that good old food. I might like, let me see. But I mean, I think more now he's more mindful when we have guests and family over. But when it was just us, there was never a time where we ate before my dad. And it wasn't because my mom loved us less or didn't care about us, but this is the man who's providing for this house. This is the man who is bringing in the money for this food. He's at one point my mom was a stay-at-home mom. He's allowing that luxury. That's a luxury, to be able to stay home, and your husband going out there to fight the world so he can provide for his family. And so that wasn't that's a given. But for some women, they feel as though that the children should eat before the man.
True that. And Black Man Unfiltered, just because you got hair that can be on all our heads, don't be trying to get over it. Nah.
His hairline is going backwards too.
Yeah, he got a 5 head.
His forehead's getting bigger every day.
Yeah, it's a 5 head.
BMU got a male braider, dog.
Oh man!
Hey, we all are bald up here.
Sorry.
Yeah, we would have got popped in a pop balloon. So lady said, "Hey, I don't like no balloons."
Yeah, all our balloons getting popped right now, man.
Hey, you know why?
I can't really deal with no bald head, man.
And you know why? Because we been thinking about our damn families too much. No, I'm just.
I can't.
Oh man! But in the totality, when you ask me about who would I save, also I think about, like I was sharing with y'all, the fact that my son will be strong enough to will be stronger than his mother to withstand the danger. So that's part of the totality of it.
That little white boy looked like he was about 12, 13.
Yeah, I was about to say, you think that little 12, 13-year-old
he can't even do a push-up, man.
He was about to be Liam Neeson.
On your own.
I got a special set of skills.
Right.
You know what he said? He said, "I'm going to give my daughter good luck."
Oh man.
Oh man, jeez.
All right, so we're gonna move on to this video. I saw this one a while ago, but I said, you know what? Let's play it tonight. Because I've also never heard this out loud before. But hey, you know, these podcasts, they just stir up some conversations.
Subject, I gotta ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife? No, me either.
What? I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's okay. It's overrated.
No,
listen,
no.
then why?
Listen, okay.
See.
Y'all need to explain that to me now.
I had a feeling. No, I'm not in love with my wife.
Why?
I don't even know her.
What are y'all doing? Why?
This is our 8th. Hold on, we got married in 2016. This is year number 8. September 8th, we'll be married 8 years. No.
All my relationship with my wife is a relationship with myself. I'm just discovering parts of me, bro.
Yeah.
We're lying to ourselves so fucking much to hold up this story or this ideal,
The fantasy.
the fantasy, without, as opposed to just fucking dealing with what's there and accepting it.
Well,
To the best of your ability.
I understand this. Now, how do you get women to understand that?
You-
Right?
you-
Get them to bow out of the fantasy.
You get them by you bowing out.
And my wife thinks she's in love with me, probably.
It's a buzzword.
Yeah.
It's a concept that's been propagated that we've adopted and creates an unrealistic expectation that we look for, and when it's not present, we feel something is wrong.
Yeah, we've allowed that to condition ourselves to.
All right.
This
So
could be a good one.
them ninjas ain't in love with their wife. Okay. What's wrong with being in love with your wife?
And so we're making a distinction about being in love or just loving your wife.
They
Well,
said in love.
golly, I hope you love her. Okay. I
Yeah, they
hope.
said in love.
No, but but there's a distinction there, and then you have to throw like in there, right? So I think there's a bridge to being in love. I think the fantasy of being in love with each other, I think it ebbs and flows, right? I think it ebbs and flows. You never fall out of love if you have a good close relationship. But there's times in there where you say, man, you know what? If we didn't have so many other things that stick us together, so we can always go find where that deep love is, but it ebbs and flows, especially over the years. I mean, especially over the years. So, I mean, because I can say for myself, there's times I look at my wife and I'm saying, man, is this woman really still in love with me? Is she? I mean, I know she loves me. She does everything for me. She does. I mean, I don't need to want for anything. But I said, does she still really love me? When she looks at me, I said, is there a reason why all the lights are always off when we go in the room together and shit? that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so it's a good question. Now, the way those two guys answer it, I think they're assholes. I think they're idiots. I don't even know why they're married. I really don't. But saying it the way they said, especially on the internet. But I do believe there's some ebbs, some flows. And the thing with me and my wife, we found out that we really like each other. So that's the glue that no matter what, we just like hanging out. We like each other. So that's the good part.
Arpain, you being very facetious. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What
we
the
can hear you, bro.
What are you talking about?
You being facetious.
I know you
Listen.
love your wife.
What's facetious mean?
Listen. I'm telling you.
Facetious or what? Well, what?
Let me tell you, Mr. Arpain. First of all, good evening to you, the real precious, the most beautiful woman on the internet today. Also, secondly, to these bald head niggas who was just talking crazy to me a few minutes, I just want to say to you niggas, I put a stat in the chat for you niggas just so y'all to read while I'm up here talking, okay?
Nobody heard that shit.
Oh my God. But you know what? I want to say this real quick. I think that most men, when you heard those men in the video, if you get around a lot of men in a barbershop or you get a lot around of men like in a group setting where nobody's watching, most of the men will do what they just did. And we have to be honest and we have to tell the damn truth. Most men would say that. Even and more so over, you can ask men, do you not trust your wife, But you can ask men, are you vulnerable with your wife? Do you talk to your wife about anything? Are you able to talk to your wife? And most of the men will say, hell no.
Well, I said that. Well, so tell me why what my answer is was wrong. Tell me why my answer was wrong.
Because you was being Dr. Strange pulling that cape out. Listen.
I did not say the shit ebbs and flows. I think those guys are idiots because they weren't in a barbershop. They're on the internet.
Yeah.
Payne, to your point, if there's ebbs and flows, why couldn't that just be an ebb moment?
But I want him to finish explaining what he means. You know, he's on his way to New Orleans and attacking people on the way out.
Listen, man. What I was saying was, you old bastard. So listen. So I do believe that most men, the reason that you're calling those men idiots, the majority of men would say what they're saying. Those two men right there were brave enough to say it on camera.
Okay, I won't argue with you. I hear you. Go ahead. So will you say that right now on camera?
What do you want me to say?
That you don't love your wife.
You got a color in there a little bit.
Yeah, I love her. I love her to death.
There you go. Case closed. See?
Yeah. Yeah, I love her so much. She don't get on. She don't get on my nerves. She don't get on my nerves. You know.
Right.
She's just wonderful. You know, because right now she's sitting in the passenger seat next to me. She's
right next to me.
Yeah, you know, she's just playing. Yeah, she's watching a movie, and so I love her, baby. I love you. I just want you to know that I love you. These internet guys are trying to get me to say I don't love you. I love you.
Boy, look at you, boy. You obviously.
He said smooches.
I told her the BNC is trying to get me. The BNC trying to get me to go against my wife tonight. The Bald Nigga Coalition trying to get me to go against my wife tonight.
You left at that kind of hard, Precious.
Hey man, but no, seriously though, I do believe, and she just said the same thing. She said a lot of men will probably, if the camera went on, they would probably say that.
You know, I mean,
it's hard to agree with that.
I don't think I would say that. I don't. Yeah. I really don't.
Well, you do this. It's TMI what you are paying. You just said you walk in the room butt naked, your wife turned the light off. So
but
make a few windows, a few mirrors, and everything else.
You got a point because it was that video, that little TikTok video going around of the girl saying that that she loved Taylor Swift, and her man, booed Taylor Swift at the game because he was around his boys, but he listened to Taylor Swift when he in the house with his wife. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I'm divorcing him. So he was around his boys. He like, shit, boo, yeah, boo. But in the house, he like, yeah, baby, I love some Taylor Swift with you, baby. It's all good.
And how many? And think about it. How many men, watch their wedding? They watch their wedding tape in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, look how happy I was before I went down the aisle. You see what I'm saying? Like they watching this shit in reverse. You walking in, babe. Why you keep rewinding the tape? Because look how happy I was before I said I do. Look at that. Look how single I was. Look, I'm back at the bachelor party. So I mean, I think that some men would do. I think some men have gotten to the point like R-Pain, he said his wife still loves him in the dark, but at the same time, she still loves him. And I think that some men just have gotten to a point. A lot of women have gotten. They're not like they used to be. They're not having sex with their husband like rabbits no more. They're not really doing. I've been with this nigga 15 years. I ain't got to do all that stuff I did in the first 5. And so a lot of men suffer from that too. That their women are no longer the same. They don't serve them the same. They don't.
When that happens,
and let's not gloss over the fact, R-Pain, that you just finished saying, I wouldn't say it on here.
No, I'm thinking my answer would be the same on here as it was if we were in the barbershop.
Okay, so R-Pain, let me ask you the question that you haven't answered since I've known you.
Okay.
If you're in love with your wife, and I'm asking you this question, okay? Real Precious, get ready. Now, so you have decided to go ahead and eat your wife's ass.
You know what? Why are we bringing down Real Precious' show with questions like that?
You said that she in the dark. Maybe she'll turn the light on if you do that.
Let me tell you.
How do we get there, man?
Just that's the kind of love that's higher than agape. That's gotta be higher than agape love. This shit is never. It's never gonna happen.
Sean Peacock, tell him, Sean Peacock.
Never gonna happen.
Hey, Sean went on camera.
There's nothing back there that I'm interested in, or my wife, or any other woman. Let me tell you that.
Wife.
It's your wife.
It's your wife.
I don't know why y'all listening to why y'all listening to Pain.
Sometimes our Pain, you gotta be Mr. Sharman. Listen, real Precious. Tell the man how important it is, Precious. She's a woman. From a woman's point of view, it's important.
Oh man,
You gotta eat
why
your wife.
why y'all listening to our Pain? He be telling on himself. He said, "I got P." He be telling on himself without even saying it.
He said he was on the
I
hub.
never told nobody I got.
You said I got P. You didn't say agape. You said I got P.
Matter of fact, it lost its planetary status. It's not. There is no Uranus.
No. Real Precious. Can you please tell him how important it is?
Jesus.
Look,
Don't let them pull you into this shit.
Oh, man.
Y'all that Precious finish. She about to tell y'all the importance of going down to the valley. Go ahead.
like you said, there's ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah.
No, I think when you're married, like, why are things off limits? I don't get it.
Oh, there'll be no boundaries. Real Precious, you tell them.
You know what? We've had this men's panel, and now I'm finding out it's really in reverse. It's a women's panel. We're finding out about you. I mean, come on. There's no way. It's just no way.
That's your preference. I just, but what if she wanted you to do it?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Arpain, you walk in the room one night and she got Luther Vandross on. If this world were mine, and she,
that's a nice scenario, right?
Arpain, you walk in, she bent over and she said, "You not getting." She tell you,
she did the colonics. Everything is ready. She's laid there looking all sexy and stuff, right? And then I'll bring in my stunt double and say, "Have at her."
And then you'll be mad at your stunt double that he was getting the cheeks.
You know how you say, Arpain, you don't want nobody banging your wife.
That's why I said that he'd be mad at the stunt double that he got the cheeks.
Eating the butt.
Now, Arpain,
all you can do is eat the butt because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You buy your damn stuff.
Arpain, your wife gonna tell you. She gonna say, "Baby, tonight we're gonna do something different. I'm gonna take you to class. I need you to get that gray beard and eat my ass."
Man, concentrate on the road.
It's gonna be.
Arpain, I'm telling you, when I first got to the Army, all the military dudes that was married, that was they claim to fame. They was like, "Listen, man," they was like, do y'all do this? I'm like, nah, I'm a single brother out here. I can't just be I can't just be going to the club and doing this type of shit. They was, and all of the dudes who was married in my unit, they was like, listen, man, me and my wife, we take a shower together and everything is up. Everything.
Listen, you know what? This is when the baby.
Well, I mean, they was what they were.
Okay, Gen X is with you, man. We want to run around eating no nasty ass groceries, man.
Hey, Coach Ferg, you done ate some ass, Coach Ferg. Stop. Coach Ferg, you done ate some ass, boy. Stop that shit.
Come on, man. Coach, why you think I'm the coach? Why you think that's the man? Because I come in with the hammer.
Hold on. Coach Ferg, wait a minute. Coach Ferg, you don't remember a few weeks ago, Coach Ferg, when we was on the show, and a lady was in the chat and she said, "Coach Ferg is my ex." She said, "That boy so good with that mouth, he can peel an apple and not even touch the inside."
Okay, now you go slander. See how y'all niggas with her come in. Nah, ain't nobody. Hey, I can go pull up a whole roster and ain't nobody gonna say I was eating no cheeks.
Oh shit.
That's how raunchy them cheeks are out there, man. You
can look at a man and tell if he eat ass. I can tell right now. Frank eat ass. Frank eat ass. Coach Ferg eat ass. Sean definitely eat ass. Sean definitely eat ass.
Hey, BMU, man, this joint.
Shots fired.
This joint say, when I be eating it, it be voices in my mind saying, "Go ahead and eat the ass too." I can got voices in my mind. Go ahead and eat it too, man. I'm already there.
The only thing is you got to be married when you do it because you don't want to be messing with a girl like Frank was saying. You don't want to be a single guy here doing that, and then you fuck around and get some corn or some leftover Sonic. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be with a woman.
No.
That you
Listen, man.
No, my wife ain't eating mine, and I ain't eating
You gotta boom BMU.
Frank being there like this. Is that corn?
Jesus Christ.
Hey, hold on now. Hold on. Ask one more thing. I'm gonna leave y'all alone, Sean. Sean, tell the truth, Sean. Sean, you are an AE guy. Tell the truth.
Sean keep going off camera, man.
Sean, tell the truth. Don't take those shades off. We need to see into your soul. You know for a fact that you eat ass, Sean. Tell the truth.
He got that
He like it.
Now what? Okay, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
Oh man, that is not something discussing here.
Oh, so Sean, you look like the type. You like the type that maybe should be like, Sean, you eat my ass tonight, then I'll eat your ass tomorrow. See what I'm saying? Like you that type of guy.
I would say this. What Precious said, I agree with. There shouldn't be limits when you're in love, but them eating my ass is the limit that I do definitely take. I'm not interested in that whatsoever. And if they're interested in it, they're gonna have to go elsewhere.
Oh no, babe, I want to talk about you. Wait, babe, my wife just said. My wife just said, she said, who eating your ass? I said, no, baby, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about, they were talking about the show. I'm talking about the show, baby. I didn't say nothing about you now.
Hey, man, the way Sean was just acting, he come out with his towel wrapped around here. No?
Yeah. You know what? Sean the type of guy. He'll change his voice. Hey, Frank, he'll change his voice before he eat it. Sean will say, you know what? I was really thinking by going to the vernacular of the whole where life and everything else comes through tonight. Okay, baby.
Bro, you don't got why you got your towel up there?
And then you got like, no woman is eating my ass. That's just for the internet. Because if there was a chance, like, no, I'm just kidding.
Listen. Real Precious. You know I'm unfiltered. Watch this. Real Precious is a beautiful woman. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being trash, 10 being Holy Ghost beautiful. We give the Real Precious an 11. And now, any man out there in this chat tonight who will be dating or married to the Real Precious, and she walked in and say, "Tonight you eat my ass," you niggas are not gonna say, "I ain't doing it, Precious." You're liars. You're liars.
Liar.
These niggas, the Precious gonna be in the 3-point stand at the front door.
Go.
Hey, 100%. But you gotta get booted tonight.
Hey man, I love y'all, man. Y'all might be glad all my kids sleep because boy, I could have had this conversation. I was waiting till my last one went to sleep. I said, "Take your ass to sleep." But no, y'all know y'all lying. That's why I use Precious because y'all know what Precious told Precious. She seemed like she's aggressive. Precious, you're going to eat it up tonight, right? And y'all would do it. Stop the cap. All right.
Go to bed. So I might as well go ahead all the way. You know, like what you know what I'm saying? That's what you're trying to say.
Now, our pain. I'm gonna say this before I go to our pain, old ass. Listen.
Oh Jesus.
Our pain has been. Listen, y'all. Do not at all let our pain lie to you guys. Our pain. He was part of it. He fixed the transmission on the Titanic before it went out. And I'm telling you, our pain was eating ass on the Titanic. He was eating ass during the Civil Rights movement. He was eating ass. He was eating ass. Who was the last one on the bus? R-Pain was eating the last person ass on the bus. He was right there, right behind Rosa Parks, eating our ass. So R-Pain is a liar.
That is hilarious.
He lying in Black History Month.
Black History Month is still here, man.
I will say this.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad enough looking at the toilet paper after you go to the bathroom, man. You know what I'm saying? How could you?
Well, R-Pain is the AEA. It's the AEA, Ass Eaters Association, and you're a part of it. Jesse Jackson is a part of it. All of you guys. Look at Coach Ferg. Coach Ferg, Coach Ferg, you've been licking that thing, and then it slipped down to the bottom, and you said, "Oh, it'll be fine in the morning. It'll be okay.
It'll be all right.
It'll be fine." Look at him. Look at him. He know I'm not lying. Look at him. I done busted him. I done exposed him. Look at him.
Man,
Look at him.
I can't do nothing but laugh at that, man. Come on, man. Hey, I don't even want nobody touching me close to my line, man.
BMU, you know, back in the day when light-skinned brothers wasn't there, he had to find his way, man.
Yeah. And look, she put her hand on his head. He told me, she put her hand on his head and pushed his head down, and it hit that other one. And she said, "Ooh!" Because Ferg say, "Baby, I ain't mean to do that." She said, "I know, but I like it."
Listen, y'all aunties only wanted the hammer, man. They ain't want all that nasty stuff, man. When nobody doing all that, man. No.
So hold on, Coach Ferg. So you mean to tell me, Coach Ferg, as long as you've been alive, you ain't never had no woman sit on your face?
That's different, though.
I know, but but real quick, if she slide up a quarter inch, it's over.
somebody booty.
Hey, man, that quarter inch is the longest mile. That quarter inch is the longest mile.
And thank you, R-Pain, for telling us you do it. See, I knew it. I knew it was coming.
No, it's like I said, it's the longest. That's just like
R-Pain, just for shit. Okay, I'm gonna say this and I'm finna go. Just for shits and giggles. Okay. If your wife sat on your face, start rocking on your face, and she said, and you hit one of them spots, and she said, "Oh," and she slide all the way forward, your tongue on that ass.
You used the wrong words, BMU. You said shits and giggle. If you wouldn't have used shits, he might have giggled.
Hey man, I love y'all, man. I love you guys, brother. Hey, I had to come in here and show Real Precious some love, man. I wish I could be on here with y'all until the show's over, but I'm gonna pay attention to this road because I see my wife over here. She nodding off, so I gotta go and put on my music and roll it on. I got another 4.5 hours.
Well, be safe, man. Be safe.
All right, y'all be good, man. Much love to y'all.
Bro, yeah.
Oh, keep in mind, JT ass already in New Orleans, so he talking about meet me when we get there. So if I end up not coming back, y'all know me and JT in jail somewhere. All right, we done got arrested somewhere. But all right, guys.
Hello.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Yo, Pain, you
unfiltered.
did lie, Pain.
Unfiltered, huh?
What I lie about?
You lied about talking about a stunt double. You would not have no damn stunt double getting between any cheeks of your wife without fighting. And no.
Sean, that just goes to show you how extreme the whole thought of that shit is.
Yeah.
That's how extreme.
Too extreme.
Yeah. I find first of all, it'd be a stunt double that's androgynous. He won't have no Johnson. He'll be just like he'll just have a tongue, man. He'll be like,
hold on. It was a show a couple of weeks ago. It'd be one of them got 3000s I done bought over because ain't no man coming nowhere and did what I got. It's gonna be one of them robots, and it's gonna be a woman.
One of the robots.
Yeah.
I actually touch your own, like that's crazy to me. But to each his own.
Wait, okay, Precious. I mean, you sound like you're serious in this, right? The woman has a whole bunch of shit on it, right? And there's a lot of stuff to touch.
Wait,
how do we gotta touch that? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
She got all these other nice, beautiful holes and stuff, you know, and we got that one is like off limits. It's only like an output.
Hey, watch your words, man. You said the woman has a whole bunch of shit on. You gotta watch your words, man. When we talking.
No. That's why.
She got all kinds of different.
That's some nasty.
But I'm just saying. I admire people who could do that because there's no way you could really. First of all, people talk about eating ass, but I never hear anybody saying if you're gonna really do that kind of play, the woman or you have to take colonics. That shit got to be like you going to a colonoscopy. That shit got to be cleaned out. It
Well,
gotta be clean out.
that far deep in there. Like, I
No,
don't
listen,
like,
listen, if there's anything in the canal, it's just too much. I mean, listen, I guess you could sit down and soak your ass in a bathtub with Calgonite and everything else. You get up, clean it as much, scrub it and shit. You take 10 steps out, it smells like ass again. You know what I'm saying? How long is it? I mean, how long do you think it's going to take to
Payne,
smell like
how
ass?
do you know this? Payne, how do you know this?
I've been alive for 100 years. I mean, what are you talking about? How many people's asses don't smell like ass after a couple of walks down the block? I mean, get the shit the hell out of here. There's just no way. There's just no way.
I don't know, man.
We're gonna have to find being you for bringing this shit up.
Listen, this all I'm gonna say, man. You gotta. I mean, listen. There's so I do understand what Payne is saying. Like, there are some things where you're like, you're just like that. Like me, I'm not sucking no toes. Like, that's one. That's the one thing I'm not doing. I'm not sucking no toes. No toes done in this. Listen, but you just got fresh out some sandals. You know, you been. No, but I think you should almost do everything with your wife, though. I think you should do pretty much everything with your wife.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why
maybe my wife is unhappy and shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying I think you should do. I mean, it's like shit. It's your wife. You know,
it's yours. That ass is yours.
Yeah.
Now here's the difference. We're talking about a wife versus in this culture, people just talking about the random anybody they meet, which I agree is some nasty ass, you know.
My bro, take it there, man.
I mean that's the reality, you know. It's some nasty. People go to the club in this day and age, and that matter of fact, people are going there before they go to the box. Ooh. That's a horrible scenario.
Yeah, I don't know about
I guess I'm old, man. Because
I'm with our Payne, man. Salute to you, millennials eating ass and fungus feet and funky breath, all that shit. No, don't do that shit. Today, listen, people are not as clean as they were years ago. You got people talking about they don't take baths every day. You meet a woman, she ain't taking a bath every day. You might want to be cautious when you go down there to that swamp. And guys too, you can't just be running up with that tongue. No, they already got the monkey pox and they got some measles out there. You be done caught all kinds of shit today down there. Stay away from that
I
shit.
agree, but here's my mental on a lot of things. We sit here and say what we want to do, not realizing what we have done. You don't know where your person has not specific. I'm not talking about the married men up here. I'm just saying you don't know where that person has been before you, and they're not a virgin. Okay. So what did they do that you're now embracing? But you don't want to think about that. But the fact is, that's a reality. Whether you think about it or not.
I mean, you're right, Sean. Listen, if my wife used to get her ass eat, that's good. At least she got a memory. At least she got a good memory. You know what? You can think back on the ass eating days. You know, shit. Charlie, who was eating her ass, more power to him.
Let me be a little bit more specific, and I don't want to talk about nobody's wife, but
I know you wasn't.
Let's just say,
I just thought I'd offer that up. You know,
let's just say,
I just offered it up.
Let's just say your wife was partaking.
Yeah, I just said it.
No. Not your. I don't even want you to think about this.
Okay.
Get out of it.
I'm not.
Let's just say a guy, his girl, single before was giving somebody else fellatio down there. Okay. And now you got involved with her, and you are now the main component of kissing this lady, of doing. Explain this.
Yeah, but okay. So, now we moved the goalpost.
I moved. You're right. I don't know
All right.
about the goalpost, but I moved something. You're right. I
know
moved
what
All right,
y'all
hold on.
saying.
All right, hold on, man.
I
Hold
don't
on.
even know how we got down
All right,
this road.
hold on. Listen, I'm about to listen.
We ain't even got through
Pause.
the video. We
Pause.
talking
I'm
about
about to, right, I'm
eating
pause.
groceries.
I'm about to bring it back. Pause. Here we go, man. So they were talking about not
That's
being
why they
in
not in love
love.
with their wife. Oh my bad.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I do I agree with the BMU sentiment that a lot of dudes would like when they're because a lot of dudes do lie when they with they boys, man. Yeah, oh yeah, I be telling my wife she listen to everything I say and then go home and be getting bossed around. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they see another dude got a real submissive wife. She actually, listen to her man or whatever the case may be. Like everybody in the crew act like they wife is the most submissive. My wife more submissive than yours, trying to one up each other. And
shit, they
so,
lie on YouTube like that, man. YouTube
right,
is the worst place. Everybody
yeah,
rich, everybody got a wife that's doing everything for them. So
exactly what I'm saying, man. So it's just, yeah, man, I can see that. And I also agree with our pain, man. A lot of so my grandma told me a long time ago, like she was like me, I think her and my pa was married for about 30 years before my pa passed. And she was like, it's times where I'm in love with him, and it's times where I'm not. It's times where I wake up and I love them, and it's times where I don't like them sometimes. Like it's just you're gonna go through all of that emotion, all of those feelings the whole time. And for 30 years, no, I'm not gonna always be in love with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like maybe that's like fairy tale-ish. But you know what I'm saying? But the point is, like, I love my wife to no end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to make sure my wife is good. Like at the end of the day. So I wouldn't be on a podcast acting like I just don't give a fuck. You like because I feel like that's how they came off. It would be one
exactly right.
Right. It would be one thing to say, like, you know what I'm saying? We've been married for 15 years, so I'm not always in love with my wife. And that, like, I could understand that, and that's a little bit easier to, and you know what I'm saying? But to be like, yeah, nah, hell no, man, fuck that. Love and love, not love. Like you just doing too much. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of podcast that I would like turn on. You know what I'm saying? Because I would just be like, these are some goofballs. Like these dudes are not real. You know what I'm saying? They're placating to their audience. Like that's how I would feel.
Yeah, that's a good take. I'm saying they was just overboard.
He's going on 8 years, and then they also said that being in a marriage with their wife is pretty much just a reflection of them learning themselves, which I can see where they're coming from with that. But at the same time, if you're saying that, then you're pretty much saying that you're not necessarily in love with yourself. Like you don't love yourself, because if you don't find moments to be in love with your wife, then what does that really say about you as a husband? Like Frank said, realistically, it's like, okay, I love my wife, but I'm not necessarily always in love.
Right.
And I even with that though, I don't know. I don't even know if that's necessarily you know fantasy talk. I think that you should be in love with your wife even if you don't like her, one Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I still think that you should be in love with her because that's your job. Your job is to love her. Period. Just like our jobs is to respect you. Honestly, we're the ones when you say, does your wife, if someone asks a man, oh, are you in love with your husband? Most women probably would say yes. But our jobs is really to respect you. That's how we show love to you. And so if there's the utmost respect there, then a man might say, yeah, she's in love with me because she respects me. But for men, your job is to love your wife. And so within loving your wife, there should be the notion of being in love with her because you're doing your job right. But that's just my
No,
opinion.
but I mean, the love part, I agree with you. But you said something else about the guy looking at his wife and she's like a reflection of him.
Mhm.
You know, I look at my wife every day and thank God I don't see myself in her.
Well, not
You know what I'm saying?
necessarily.
She's her own person, and it's those differences I like about her, right? And the thing I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna be real quick. The thing about my wife, I don't use the word submission with her because the thing she does for me, she does because she wants to, not and that's her obligation, right? I don't have to remind her about that, right? So if you call that submission, then that's it. But the way the word has been bullied and cut up in these streets, I hate to use it. It's not, because those are the same things I do for her. We don't have to go through the tit for tat, right? We just do natural shit for us. By now, we've been together for a long time. But do I get on her nerves sometimes? Probably. Does she get on mine? Not as much as I probably get on her.
Probably.
I probably get on her. But
Simp. Hey, simp. No, I'm just joking.
no, but the love part, I would never say at any point
I'm just messing with you.
out of love with my wife.
Yeah.
The in love, that feeling that you get, that in love feeling, that just like that fresh in love feeling, goes like this. Then we'll go on vacation, or we'll take a trip, or we'll do something together where we say, "Oh, that's why I was in love with this asshole." She's saying that to me, not me saying that to her. So but the love never goes.
Yeah.
Right. You're in love with her. So we're not talking about societal like lovey-dovey butterflies. I mean, in is out, right?
Yeah.
You're not out of love with your wife. You're in love with her. You're actively.
I know what you mean. Now I know. Yeah. If that interpretation, it never went away.
Yeah, I was taking it in the other interpretation of the butterflies and stuff like you know what I'm saying, like that.
But that's how society has programmed, and that's why
how
he said it and how he expressed it is a little off-putting, because it's like, well, if you're not in love with her, then you're out of love with her. Like, you know what I mean? So you are in love with your wife. You're actively putting in that work. You're actively doing self-reflections and seeing yourself in her. You around somebody long enough, they're gonna pick up your isms and you're gonna pick up their isms, right? Like it's just a part of that proximity with being with one another. But I think that a lot of men will say, "Oh, I'm not in love with my wife," and I think that they're doing their wife and themselves a disjustice and making everybody look crazy out in the street, because it's like, well, if you're not in love with your wife, then what are you? What are you doing?
Yeah,
but I think it does I don't know. Listen, man, this conversation, is funny because the way our house is built, my wife's office is in the front of the house and our bedroom is in the back of the house. So our meeting place is in the kitchen, right? And, whenever I wake up 3, 4 in the afternoon or whatever, she's typically just getting off work.
3 or 4
Yeah, she's typically going to get off work, right? And we could just start up conversations and just laugh for 15 minutes. And have very few words, but we laugh, like we can joke about each other, and laugh about that the rest of the week. We talk about pretty much everything that we need to take care of. So I'm more appreciative now than I was when I first got married, because I thought I was going to miss out on something, right? But to our parents say it all the time, the way we positioned ourselves in this, that's what, 12 years going on this year, that if our parents, he got me thinking, if I was to leave tomorrow, she's taken care of for the rest of her life. If she was to leave tomorrow, I'm taking care of for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I never looked at it like, I look at it as both. I love her and I'm in love with her. It may be times where I may not agree with her or whatever, but we seem to talk it out. And I'm not going to walk around for 2 weeks not talking to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Because then she'll be in a position to where she gonna have to just give it up, one up for the team quite often. And I wouldn't want that now because I'm married and I want to always feel that connection. You know what I'm saying? But I think society, people who never experienced it, yeah, they could have that kind of tone about it. Oh, ain't nobody gonna love, da, da, da. But they gonna miss out. They gonna miss out listening to other people. When it comes to people, I can only believe in the relationship that I have by experiencing that with them. You know, I'm not going to believe what Precious say about a female if I think she's attractive and she's giving me that energy. Then I have to experience that. You know, but I'm looking out for those flags. I grew up with sisters, so I moved opposite of bad behavior immediately. You're not going to send me down the road chasing you. You ain't getting taken out the roof, Chris. I ain't moving in with you if I already see that you giving me those type of qualities just in us trying to get to know each other. But I don't think most men are like miserable in marriages, you know, because as a man, we enjoy a lot of isolation sometime in the house. Like when I come to the basement, my wife, she's usually going to bed. And it's, you know, my wife leaves the house about 4 days a month. That's it. For the most time she's in here with me, I'm out running around doing everything because that's what I like to do. You know, it's like it's gonna have ebbs and flows, but you know what I'm saying? It just depends on where you are. I was ready to get off the streets. I was ready to get off the streets. I saw what y'all was starting to go through now, Frank. Like, oh, these women talking crazy. I ain't ready to invest in nobody who ain't open to just bringing all our Halloween candy to the table. And it took me a while to search through that shit. It ain't easy to find somebody. I don't think most men are ready. The first two that they meet like that, they ain't ready. They'll play house, but they ain't ready to commit because they see how the other women who ain't got nobody, they moving loose. But then the third one, it all depends on where you are in life. I would recommend, well, I ain't gonna make no recommendations because you do what you want to do, but you make sure that she's loving you by showing you, not by what she's saying. Only go by her woman's actions. And within 90 days, you'll find out a lot about a woman. So
I agree with both of y'all. And on a serious note, both of y'all are in love, and it's promising to me towards the future, because I see it. You know, as much as we bust your balls about it sometimes and mess with you, the fact of the matter is that our pain, Coach Ferg, you both display that you are in love with your wives. You might not, you know, you can love them and might not like them all the time, but you are in love with them. And that to me is something that has been missing in a lot of out here on these streets and so on, is that is never acknowledged. I enjoy hearing you guys speak about the love that you have for your wives. It gives me encouragement, it gives me hope and inspiration that there too is someone that I can love in the same manner. Now, to why we be messing with y'all, because it ain't like what y'all used to have. But the point is, it still does exist, and we do recognize that and understand that. And it, just to hear you guys express your love for your wives, again, I salute you, and it's promising for us single men out here for our future.
All right, so we're gonna move it on along. Those who are just joining, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and if you'd like to join the panel, the link is pinned to the top of the chat, so you can definitely hit that link if you'd like to join. We got about 2 more videos and then we're going to get up out of here. The nameless protagonist, thank you so much for being here, stopping by. I hope you are all having a good evening so far. That we are. All right, so we're gonna get to the next video here. I saw this one on the way into the show, so I said, you know what, we'll play it because Jess Hilarious says something to the woman and I'm trying to figure out what she means, so maybe you guys can help me out.
My everything.
Let me rewind it all the way to the beginning. Carla opens up about being stuck in her married?
I've been married for about 3 years. I have 5 kids. One from a previous relationship. He's 10. He's my everything. However, my other 4 are from my current marriage. And I have been our sole provider from almost like day one. Well, no, from day one. And it's been really hard. For me, it's the financial piece. Like, I expect my husband to keep a consistent job to help support us financially. Because outside of our finances, I feel like we don't really have issues. But when it's bearing on me to take over and push, I mean, I just had a baby. My baby's 5 months old. It's a bit stressful.
So these kids are back to back. You said you've been the breadwinner since basically day one. You know, you said your husband cannot keep a consistent job. Is that what you said? I don't want to mess you up. That's what you said?
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay, all right. Why continue to keep having children if you know that you have to have them? You're going to be the one paying for them. You're going to be the one taking care of them. And it was already a mental strain on you anyway, probably from seeing that he really wasn't a consistent provider and after the first one. You know what I mean? So like, why do we put ourselves in these situations? I'm saying we, because I'm a woman too. I'm not dealing with what you're dealing with, but I'm a woman first. So I'm just going, meet you where you at. But why?
Because I truly have had faith, and I want to continue to have faith that he is going to be that person. Like, we've been to a point where he's had a job and he was doing what he needed to do. Things turning around. He was, picking up the slack, and, we was getting back to square one. But then unfortunate things happened and he lost his job.
It's just this situation is hard because he ain't your boyfriend, he ain't just your baby father. He a husband,
Yeah.
And so you know what you have to do. You know what I mean? Especially because you can do bad by yourself, right? I know that's a cliche saying, but you can do bad by yourself. What is he saying? Is he, I'm sorry, or I am looking, or why don't we start a business together? Like, what is he doing? Is he just sitting there chilling?
I mean, I hate to make him out to be a bad person because I love my husband. But
of course.
It's like, when I tell him, like, I need you to figure it out. I need you to put around, find something to do. He like, I got it. But yeah, I see all he do is chill at the house.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Like, you can't find a job here. You can find a job there. Like, you might not like the job, but
well, you know what you need to do, baby girl, because you're doing everything. And remember, I can't stress it enough. You're carrying kids. You have to have them, and you have to take care of them. And you're chilling at the house. Look, and you still look at you. You still don't want to paint him out to be a bad person. Nah, he may not be a bad person overall, but he's not a good husband. I'm gonna go ahead and jump out the window and say that for you because you don't want to say that. You know what I mean? Don't go back and forth in your mind going crazy over something. You know what it is, and you know what you need to do. You had 5 children. You know what I mean? What are they looking at? What are they seeing? They saying they father chill. The other one saying the stepfather chill, while mom go do everything. And you breaking down, you not happy, you crying to me right now. You know what you gotta do. But I love you. Keep on, you gotta keep taking care of your kids. You gotta keep on working, but you don't gotta stay there. You don't have to stay there. You're fine, and you will find somebody that, love ain't over for you. That should be the furthest away from your mind right now, but nah, you can do all this by yourself. Like, you ain't gotta struggle. It's basically, you got 6 kids is what it sounds like,
Tell me about it.
Nah, you get it's all right. And don't have faith in him. Have faith in God. You know what you got to do,
Woo!
So Jess says, it. She kept saying, you know what you have to do. But my question is, what does she have to do? It seems like she insinuated leaving him, but that's her husband. So I wanted to get you guys' perspective as being men, 2 husbands on the panel. When you hear this conversation, what exactly are you hearing, and what is it that she should do as a wife?
I'll go real quick. I think that her painting the reality of what it is one thing, and I understood where she was going with that. But her giving advice sounded like she was projecting her feelings into the situation and giving advice according to how she felt, which could be the worst thing. She's dismantling a household if that woman takes her advice with 5 people, 6 people in it, and she ain't even worried about what that might do to the totality of it. And that projection, I hate when people do that, when they project their own sentiments and feelings into somebody else's circumstances as advice. So, what she was identifying is I can agree with. She was identifying some things, but it was also um I don't know what the circumstances of why he was losing jobs and so on and so forth. And I'm not excusing the facts that he was doing that. But the point is, just hilarious advice sounded like some projection that can be really detrimental to a person's who's married circumstances. And the married brothers, I would love to hear what y'all say about
And listen, first of all, she's not qualified to give this woman advice at all. She's been a lifelong hyena, and so she doesn't even know what it means to be in a good relationship based on her the way she's always on airways crying from time to time. But I'm just thinking, what is this woman going to do if, say, she breaks up for her husband? What's going to make her life any better?
Right.
Where's she going? Okay, now he's not even, now the possibility of him doing anything is completely off. And so now she got 5 kids. And Jess was serious when she said, "Oh, you'll find love again, but let's not talk about that." Like some man is going to want to walk around and come in and swap up a woman with 5 ass kids.
Right.
Now, again, it's another story of a woman choosing a guy to be with that shouldn't have any children at all, probably. And if he can't keep a steady job, that means that he's probably one of those guys in the lower rung of the socioeconomic scale where his job is what they call those kind of jobs that come and go. It's like, there's no security in the jobs that he gets. It's probably not even his fault, right? He's a handyman here or a serviceman there. And when people want to cut back, those are the first kind of jobs they go. So, but I just think Jess herself, every time I see her, I dislike what she says. So I'm biased. I don't think she gives good advice at all. I don't think she's particularly some kind of woman that would be on the higher end of a Richter scale where you need to take some advice from. Matter of fact, she does a disservice just by being on the radio, by putting out her shit in the airwaves. So I'm just saying, there's another bad advice to a woman. The first thing she should say, why don't you guys, you take your husband, go get some counseling, do something, talk to somebody, a married couple that might be able to help you, or somebody could help your husband see that you need him, something like that. But all the rest of it was just bad advice, because this woman might take her advice, and I don't see how that makes her life better. Do better all by yourself. That's how many. I'm gonna end it here. That do better all by yourself has probably destroyed and hurt more Black women than anybody else. Yeah, because it's not true. It's a lie.
It's a lie. Yeah, and this is all YouTube talking points. Single women keep women single. This is typical of what it is. Now, is she looking at the fact that, okay, she has 5 children. Now, financially, they doing okay. Because 5 children in daycare, I don't know the ages of them. I would assume, if it's 5, maybe 7, maybe 1 or 2 are going to school. You're looking at least $4 or $5, almost $5,000 for daycare. Now, if he had a job and he was working, when they had no children or whatever, I don't know the time frame, but him being at home is not a bad thing. However, this is where the immaturity sometimes show up in men. A lot of men don't know how to play house with their own house. You know, if his wife is bringing in the bread, what would be wrong with him? Now, if he's engaging with his children and they're, you know, on task emotionally, psychologically, academically, then he's doing great. But if he's just sitting around playing video games and she coming home, the kids has done wrecked the house, what kids do, you know, dishes ain't washed, the food ain't ready to be cooked, even, you know what I'm saying? If he ain't doing that type of stuff, then it's, yeah, I would look at least having a conversation with somebody who's more qualified than a woman who's never been married. She's shown that she's had relationships. She's speaking from the rhetoric of sisters who tell a sister, girl, you can do bad all by yourself. And that, like Arpane said, man, that's been the feminist ideology for the past 50 years. And now you're looking at 5 children. 5 children. That's just, hey, brother, listen, for advice for you, you make sure that if she ever wants to leave you, you make sure that you file for full custody of all your children. You make her leave the house. You don't leave. You just get your ass a job, figure it out. You can make it figure it out. And get your child support from her, too. Because she going to come after that shit from you since she's making that bag and you're not good enough. But this is just unfortunate that women like her who are not qualified are telling women who are already in a position and wanting 4 sisters to be in, girl, get back out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get ran through like me. F them kids. F your kids. So this is just what they do, and it's unfortunate. She should be trying to have a conversation with somebody who's more qualified than a woman who has it. And listen, a woman like that, if you listen to her and you won't listen to a man, then you're gonna get everything you deserve when you get back out on them streets, because the streets.
You know what? She said one thing that would make the only thing she made sense. Why the hell are you still having babies with this dude?
Right. Yeah, and that was it.
That was it. Why the hell are you still doing that? That was, and she said that up front. So I said, "Oh shit, Jess might be saying something I like."
Yeah, I thought so too.
It went all downhill after that, you know.
In the Hudson River.
That's the one thing she said. Is, what the hell are you having all these babies for? This guy's a loser.
But who can say he's a loser? He's a stay-at-home dad.
He's a loser for
He's not a stay-at-home dad, man. And that's why I was gonna tell you. I was gonna tell you, Coach, man. I'm normally we be lockstep. We be lockstep, Coach. We'll disagree on much, man. But look, I gotta disagree with you right now, man. Especially one part that you said. I believe that the parent that can provide the best lifestyle for not just I'm talking about school, like education, like all that, like, you know what I'm saying, should definitely, be the primary parent. And that's just is what that is. That's my perspective on that. But at the end of the day, yeah, he can't figure it out in his marriage. He can't figure it out when he got it. So she the breadwinner. He can't figure it out while he has somebody bringing in money for him to be able to find a stable job, stable employment, stable this. And so now he's going to go be the one to go try to get full custody of his kids and figure it out. You got help. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like that, first of all, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? I agree that she definitely shouldn't have had 5 kids. Like, if she had one and he couldn't keep it together, and she, they had 2, it's like, okay, well, all right, we done. Like, until you can find some stable, some stability, some stable work. We both were doing our thing here. And even if she was the main provider and he had a part-time job, or he was doing, handyman work or whatever, like, because you can always find handyman work like that. That's one of the easiest things to do. If you, any type of community that you live in, like the community that I live in, when something happened, they posted on the community Facebook, hey man, yo, I need somebody to hang up my ring lights. I need somebody to I got a new such and such. I need somebody to come. Is anybody in the neighborhood an electrician? I need this check. That's the easiest shit to do. You know what I'm saying? As far as being able to bring in some extra money into the crib, because people are always needing something fixed. And so, all I'm saying is, man, now I don't like to tell people to leave and do all of that, because I'm not married and all that, but so it's tough for me to tell a married woman, or to just walk out of the relationship. She has 5 children also, but I also agree with, and I'm not saying that he is a child. I'm saying that she's taking care of 6 people by herself, basically. Like that is a wild situation. Like, to me, that's just a wild situation. And the crazy part about it is, when we know that most women don't like to be the breadwinner in a relationship, because when they date women, they struggle leading the relationship. They struggle being the man in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? When they date women, they struggle. Oh man, well, I gotta take care of all of her bills now. Like, they struggle with that. So imagine taking care of a man and then 5 kids.
But the
That's
question,
crazy to me.
no, but what I'm saying is, if he's doing what he needs to do within the home,
but he's not though.
But we only heard what she's saying. She just said he lost his job.
Coach Ferg, only I don't mean to cut you, but think
Man,
about
you know how much daycare is, man.
He was
now I agree with you on that.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
Okay, what you said he was doing?
No, I'm saying I agree with him on that.
I'm just saying, as far as
daycare
daycare
situation, like the
the daycare situation.
Yeah,
but you
during
said
the
more
day.
than that. You said if she came home, right, and the house was neat, the kids were they had their stuff done. I don't get the impression she's coming home to that kind of house. I think she's coming home to the dirty house with the dishes and him playing PlayStation and the kids screaming and yelling. And after a hard days of work, she got to put it all back together that night.
She was crying just talking about the situation. Now I think that if she was providing and coming home to something that was like pain, like that would be difficult to complain about. That would be difficult to cry about. That wouldn't even be something. I don't even see how she could be like crying about that, because he's saving her money. Say 3 of them kids go to is in daycare, and he's watching those 3 kids during the day. He's making, you're saving at least $4,000 a month right there.
So I'm quite sure. I mean, we don't know his side of the story because somebody put that in the chat.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that if everything was cool when it came home, because men who are stay-home husbands who are on their square, they can take care of a house better than a woman can, because everything will be compartmentalized. Those kids will be straight, they'd be clean, they'd be shut up. Everything will be, you do this, you do that, because those kids will be put to work. They'll be put to work. I mean, but he ain't
that's but again, you don't make that. You don't get that impression. I get it, but that's what she painted. We don't know that it's not that. She could just be complaining because she got to go to work every day and don't like that reality.
Well, that's true too.
And her girlfriends are over at the happy hour at 6:30 on Wednesdays. They going on girls trips, and yes, women, they get caught up in that. Why can't I go? And but again, man, the fact that
money, baby.
But she's not complaining about they can't handle the bills. She's just saying it's stressful. See, that's the thing.
He's not doing anything.
Well, that's, again, I think it behooves him to sort of pick his shit up in that capacity, because he's losing out on money too. He has to be able to, but that's who she chose. It is what it is. And she's still having babies. We do shit as well.
Go ahead. Precious.
She so a couple of things, right? One, she still is having babies, and a lot of women will say they can't even get moist if the man ain't working or if he ain't providing and things of that nature. So there must be something that is allowing her to. You could clearly hear that she loves her husband. She doesn't want to paint him out in a bad light, things of that nature. But there has to be something there where she is still willing to have babies. There's one thing of having sex with your husband. That don't mean that you have to procreate and y'all only have one income. You don't necessarily have to do that, right? So another thing is she did only tell her side. And as a woman, I know that women aren't the best at watching their mouth. And that can be a huge downer for a man who's already down, right? Now, of course, the man needs to do what he needs to do to find work. You may not like the job that you're doing, but at least you're bringing something in. But women have a huge role to play in how they communicate with their man, especially when he's not on the up and up. And because they are married, it's in her best interest to watch how she communicates with him, because that can be a driving factor of him not being motivated to go out there and get a job. Because a man who is motivated and getting poured into and things of that nature is going to do any and everything that he has to do to make sure that his family is good, which means that he also knows that he has to bring in some income to take care of 6 people.
I agree.
So that's one thing that I did want to say. We hear her side of the story, but a man not bringing in money is very frustrating to a woman who has to carry the load on her own. I told y'all a couple of shows ago, like, women don't want to work. Like, if they were completely honest with you, they don't want to work. So the fact that she has to do it all on her own makes me believe that there are tired nights. There are frustrating nights. Obviously, there are nights they still doing it and they having children, so that ain't getting in the way. But there is there's probably a communication barrier and a connection barrier, and not necessarily a sexual connection barrier, but an emotional connection barrier, a barrier from her to him and how she communicates with him on this matter. And it matters how she does that as his wife. You can't just say, oh, you just laying around here. You ain't no good. I'm the one bringing the money in. I don't care if you watching these kids. Like that's a huge thing. Like Jess was saying, oh, you could do bad all by yourself. But when you by yourself, you really feel that you're by yourself. So no, he may not be working right now, but you do have another body there to actually help you with the children. You may need to go out. Guess who's staying at home with the kids? He is. You have to go to work. Guess who's staying at home with the kids? He is. The house may not be in tip-top shape. The dishes may not be washed. But again, women don't understand the role that they play in being able to move a man the way that you need him to move, the way that you need him to move for the family, not just for you, but for the whole family. And the mouthpiece is a huge piece, because our mouthpiece turn the man all the way off. I always tell women all the time, you have to work on your mouth. And if that means shutting up, that's what that means.
So we just added some of our, okay, we're all adding our own assumptions on what's going on in that household. So she could be saying those bad things. I just get the feeling the guy's a bum. But go ahead, Sean.
What I was gonna say is, Precious, you said a lot, and that's when I'm going back to Just Hilarious. Watch your mouth. STF. Because that you're not adding, and you can do all by yourself. Okay, you ain't been by yourself with 5 kids. That's gonna be something. How you gonna go to work when you got 5 kids? Your job ain't gonna be affordable at that point. That you're bringing home all this money and struggling, and now you got even further struggle. So that advice that she's given, just go by yourself.
Right. She never asked her, so what is it that you're doing that's helping to encourage him? Like y'all are a team. Like when you're married, you're a team. It's not just, oh, you need to go find a job. And Like, no, she can't go on her interviews for him. No, she, but at the end of the day, what is it that you're doing to actually assist him and help him? Right? When you on the basketball court, somebody got to throw you the ball in order for you to make it.
Yeah, but that kind of advice would never come from Just Hilarious. If that lady was talking to you, she would have got better advice. But I couldn't see Just Hilarious even saying anything like that.
You know why? Because Just Hilarious has had to do it on her own. And when you have to do it on your own and you're bitter about that, that's what you're going to spew out. You're going to spew out, oh, well, you could do that all by yourself. You could do, mind you, this woman is in a marriage. She's in a unit where you have to work together as a team. That's the mentality that you have to have. That like there is no other mentality. There is no other way. She's pretty much.
I agree with you 100%. All I'm just saying is that she's talking to the wrong person. I mean, and so the only contrast I was making is the kind of advice she needed is the kind that you're giving right now.
Yeah,
that's what you need to hear.
I think that just and I can't even say that I can fix the mess. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's better than her telling her to leave. Man.
Yeah,
right. Right. I'm not gonna say, oh, you need to leave him, because at the end of the day, that is her husband. Now, whether he was that way when she married him or not, y'all got these kids together. Y'all kept having these kids together. And so y'all need to come up with a plan.
I would like to talk to the guy though. If I had a chance to talk to her husband, I would say, listen, man, in this situation, if you can't find a job, then you be the best house husband you could possibly be. Y'all have that conversation and say, this is what we're gonna do.
Yo, Robert Platinum, bro. What do you mean? What is she complaining about? Like, what? Did we hear the same story? I'm not saying that her story was 100% accurate. I'm not saying that she, that she shouldn't have chosen what, because we don't know the whole situation. But what we do know is, yeah, she's taking care of 6 people. And from the way that it sounds like he's a bum. It does not sound like he's adding value to the household. That's what it sounds like. So if he is adding value to the relationship, adding value to the marriage, adding value to the household, then no, she wouldn't have a reason to complain in that situation. But if I'm taking care of 6 people by myself and you're not adding any type of value to the household, any type of value to the relationship, yes, you're right, she married him. We're not disputing that. We're talking about now.
That's very true.
Like,
but we
so
don't,
it just
know all that.
doesn't make any
We're
sense.
going on the picture that she painted.
Right, and that's what I said. I said the way that she made it sound, even though she tried to protect him, so like she tried to protect him, and it still sound like the guy is a bum.
I think she tried to protect the fact that she didn't want to leave the marriage, and
she said,
I
don't want to talk bad about my husband. She said, I don't want to talk bad about my husband.
You're right. Then you're
right. So if she did not want to talk bad about, she could have got on there and been like, yo, he a dirt bag. He ain't never had she didn't treat him like that. So like if she would have came off like that, then I would be like, yeah, she chose them. She don't got nothing to complain about. But the fact that she tried to actually like protect her husband gives me the case that where it gives me the feeling where she's just like, damn, like, I'm tired. Like, I've been trying. Like, I want to stay with my husband, but damn, like that's how it came off to me.
I hear that, but at the same time, we're not giving grace to these, as both said. Why are you continuing to have children? And her,
I get that. I get that. That's
so
why
it doesn't lay out to me exactly like it sounded.
But
even though she did kind of protect her husband, I still don't get the fact that.
But Sean, we know though, the bums, the niggas that be at home, they got nothing but time to lay pipe. Like literally, bro, you got nothing but time to lay pipe. You not putting energy into nothing else. That's been something that has been the thing for a very long time. How many women say he didn't take care of his other 5 kids, but I had a kid by him? I thought I was gonna be the one to change him. Another bum. Look, like, I'm dead ass, bro. And I'm not a Mr. Let Go fan, but what he say, Pookie pickers. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, bro, how many women will do that? Dudes who don't got no job, lay on your couch all day, pipe you down all night.
I agree with what you're saying. I just don't know. I want to hear more of the information before making those assumptions.
Yeah, but
That's his
yeah,
wife. So yeah, she's gonna give him the access.
Yeah.
We're not talking about somebody just randomly off the street.
Right, but
And she
to the point, I think I'm more frustrated with the advice Jess Hilarious was given and how she was projecting her own feelings into this scenario, which is very vital and vulnerable situation that she could have just made that woman get into a worse circumstance because you could do it all by yourself. By yourself is not what you've been doing. Even if he is the pookie picker, he's still there. He did marry you, which is not the same thing as those other guys that you was just referring to who didn't get married and is not at the house. So it's hard for me to just understand. It feels like she's very overwhelmed, and I get that. It sounds like she's very disappointed in having to bear the responsibilities as long as she can. But it doesn't sound like he's out on the street all the time without the children. It doesn't sound like he didn't marry her and he was just fathering kids, bastard kids, for the lack of better words. So there's certain things that's just not adding up, and our feelings about all those pookie pickers and bum cats, it gets in the way of us being able to be subjective sometimes.
well, the one thing we do know is that she's frustrated, right? Because she called in. Hey, listen, Precious, you guys, if you ever follow Trigger Mike on his Instagram, he put out a thing about the order of things: God, man, woman, and child. I don't know if you saw that, Precious.
I don't think so.
The premise of it was this: that if you follow the natural order of things, if you're not religious, it's man, woman, and child. He said men give grace downward, right? He said if the man is in charge, you can give grace to the wife, the kid, the community, and everybody else, and think nothing of it. That's just his charge in life. to serve people around him, serve his family. He says a woman, since she's below the man, will give grace to other women and the children. But if she has to give grace upwards, she can't do that without getting resentful.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
so that was the way he said it was real eloquent. Without getting, somehow she's going to start resenting having to give grace to the man above her.
right. And when I tell women to watch their mouth, that's part of that grace, right? Because at the end of the day, that's still your husband. And to take it further, there are some things that, and if you're going to marry under God, you better depend on him, right? So there are some things where you're going to have to go to God for your husband, with your husband, right? And so a lot of these things are missing in relationships because people just think that they could just do everything in their own strength. And that is just simply not the truth. Ain't no man on this earth walking can do anything in his own strength.
And Precious,
The
was that
example is you
that
waking up every morning and not putting oxygen in your own lungs. So, that could be that is a huge factor in relationships. And that's another thing that I saw growing up. You know what I mean? Like there were things that my mom wasn't going to complain to my dad about. No, she was just going to take it to God. She was going to pray. She was just going to make sure that she made those requests known to God. Because at the end of the day, it is God, man, woman, and children. And there are things that there are going to be things that your husband may not be capable of, or he's not up to par on, or he's not, completing things at the capacity that you feel as though he can be. But there are things that in God's strength that he will be able to do. But you have to have that servant heart. you have, as a woman, you have to have that servant heart. It can't just be passed down to the children. It has to be something that you are constantly in communication with God with to be able to do for your husband. Period.
Precious, was that one of the things that you was referring to that you didn't like? You said there was one thing that she said when she said, "And don't put God in, don't say something about God at the end." Was that what she was referring to? That just hilarious said.
At the end, she said, "Don't trust man, trust God." Just hilarious said that, and in which she do have to trust God, but all the other stuff that she said to her wasn't necessarily godly advice. Like it wasn't, God. I mean, there are only a couple of stipulations that God gives you in order for you to leave your marriage, and your man not having a job is not one of them.
So I got a question for y'all, and this for everybody, for you too, Miss Precious. So we hear people ask this question all the time, but how long do y'all think a woman can sustain taking care of a man and the house by herself for, say that man lose his job? Like how long, like what's an appropriate amount of time? Like what do y'all feel like that would be for a person, a woman? Like anybody, but I'm just asking. Your man loses his job.
Add some context to it. Add some more context.
No, I'm just saying he loses. He has a job.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He has a job. He loses his job. Now he's not bringing in no income. Period. Like he's just not. He's just not bringing in no income.
It should take. It should be. As long as it takes for him to get a job.
Okay.
My thing is women aren't built for that. they're just not built for that. Like I said, women women will lie to you. Okay. Women don't naturally want to work. There'll be women that will put their job and their careers before a man, and that's just a cover up. It's trauma, it's all of that. Women don't naturally want to work. They don't want to labor. They don't want to be tired. They don't want to be frustrated. And so, if you're married to this person, then you're in it for better or for worse. So however long it takes. But the real answer to that is not going, she can't sustain it for long because her emotions are going to take over. Her emotions are going to get in the way of her vows.
I agree.
I tend to agree with what Precious
y'all didn't
said.
say, but she ain't say no time frame.
No, she said however long it takes is what she said.
No, I'm talking about how long do you think it would take before?
That depends on the woman, Frank. Some women will give you 6 months. Some give the woman who went viral on YouTube only gave the guy a week.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
So, but I mean, if it's a good marriage, she give you, even if she gives you as long as it takes, you're gonna tell a difference in her personality towards you after a while.
Right.
She's gonna
definitely gonna change.
It's gonna change. So hey, listen, I know full well. I mean, it's one of those kind of things that I'm glad I didn't have to face, but I'm still alive, so hopefully nothing, come now. But I mean, I thought about that. I wanted to make sure, and that's why I think it's just a blessing that I'm here where I'm at, because my wife never had to put up with it.
Yeah.
But it was always in my mind that I had to do all of these things for the family. It's one of those obligations. It just so happens that the blessings and all that other kind of stuff just fell right for me,
Man, I think for me, man, it's just tough to even, like, it's not even the fact that she told, like, the way that she telling the story so much, but it's just like I can't even imagine this. You know what I mean? Like, I want to provide for my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Coach Ferg said, if I wasn't able to provide financially and we had younger kids and all of that, then I'm going to take that financial burden off. Like I'm going to be like, yo, all right, bet. Babe, you know what I'm saying? If you working during the day or whatever, I got the kids, like we not sending them no daycare. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You ain't listen, all this shit is taken care of. That way, when you get to the pad, all you got to do is chill. Cause I just want, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be able to provide to my family in some way. And if that's us keeping the extra $3,000 in our pot in the pot, then cool. You know what I'm saying? If I got it, and even if I had to do like have a liquor store job, you know what I'm saying, at nighttime, while, you know what I'm saying, after she done came home, we done put the kids to bed, you know what I'm saying, all that like cool, like, but I just like, for me, I'm a man, I have to do something. Like that's just how I feel about the situation. And I can understand, like, if she a lawyer, she's some, you know what I'm saying, big doctor and all this, like, okay, she's going to be the breadwinner. I work in education. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's like I'm still providing value and I'm still doing what I got to do for my family.
Yeah.
Like I could not imagine my wife taking care of 6 of us and me just being okay. Like I couldn't. And I'm not saying that was the whole situation. I just couldn't imagine just being okay in that situation. That's
I think it goes back to, Jess is telling her now to get out of it, but these are the decisions that women have to make before they even take the step into being married. Like you have to know what his track record is. Like you know a man who can't keep down a job. Like you can't tell me that this man was working all his life consistently and then got with you and now he down on his luck. So, women have to make those wise decisions too, where it's like, okay, is he someone who is a provider? Does he have the heart to serve his family in that capacity? Meaning that he is caring and loving his family so much that it's not even in his mind that he can be unemployed. Like, you know what I mean? It's not even in his, now things happen, jobs lay off, Trump ain't put the pen down, so we don't know what the future holds. But at the end of the day, he should already have the mindset, if I don't work, I don't eat. Like that's a mindset, right? And so, you can't get in it, then have 5 kids by him.
Yeah.
But just hilarious to fix your mess.
Hey Sean, you see how this conversation came back around? We was talking about how people be saying like, oh man, like he was lying and he was like no, like if you knew he was not able to keep down the job, and this is what we were saying earlier, and I know what you were saying, so I agree. You had some valid points too, but I agree with that. But right now in this day and age, Robert Platinum, bro, you made a good point, so I'm gonna give you props for making a good point. It's so many things to do these days. Literally, bro. It does not mean that you're gonna get monetized right away. It does not mean that, like, it's so many things that you can do these days, man. You can show people how to fix shit. If you're a plumber, you can show, like, it's just so many things you can do. It's not even about YouTube, but if you work, I mean, if you are a handyman, you turn that into a little business. You start fixing people's shit on every day. Like, but it's just so much stuff to do, bro.
It also, yes, he can do those things. But again, I will say, and I will always say, women do not understand the power that they have in order for their man to move, because maybe there are things that he can't see where she's like, yo, you're really good at this. Why don't we try this?
Yeah.
Set up that, like, women have that ability, but they also have the ability to tear down. Now, while he has to be self-motivated, yes. But again, you married this man, so you're a team. Okay. And where he lacks, you gonna have to pick up. And where you lack, he gonna have to pick up. And so if you don't have it in you as a woman, then again, these are the things you need to go to God for. These are the things where you should probably go to counseling, where it's just like, I don't have the words. I'm not sure what to say, but I know that right now my husband's not working, is very stressful on me. I feel like there's a big monkey on my back. What can I do? This is where you have to go seeking. You have to seek to find those answers. Staying around the house every day, day in and day out, complaining about what he's doing is not going to help the situation.
Why is the wife school podcast like this?
I don't know, but listen. Okay. So So a husband and wife, they have 6 children. Now,
five children.
5 children going on 6. Ain't she pregnant?
No, she said she was
called
taking
the
care
man
of
a
him.
child.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hilarious said that.
Don't miss the point. Go ahead. What's the point?
Yeah, so she got 5 children. Okay, so now, and this is where again, I would say he's probably late 30, 40 years old. Now, the thinking forward, he can't get outside the house. That's might as well send the kids to daycare, so he can't really leave. But what he can do, just take advantage of the YouTube space, because he's in a position to teach his children to be the best of all these slow ass people out here today. He has an opportunity to push them beyond what the situation is that him and his wife are living right now. He just has to. Another way to make income, start blogging the things that you're doing with your children to help them not be as slow as these slow readers are out here today. Help them. He's in one of the greatest positions. He's in the home. He can make those children the strong, because I'm sure he has some toddlers, maybe 5 or 6, if I'm just going by age.
Right.
So it's a great, kids are learning everything at that age. Why do you think we got so many lazy teenagers, young adults now? Because nobody taught them shit in the house. Nobody taught him shit. So he's in a position where he can change. He can, and I'll say this on shit. If he focuses on making those children be better than what we see out here, those children can retire him and his wife at an early age.
And you're right. And the point that I was making earlier is why I need more substance to the story is because who's to say that he's not, other than his wife right now, because she's frustrated.
Well, she's not seeing the money. She don't want to keep spending all her money on the house. She's ready to go get us some wigs and some nails and some makeup.
Right. And the thing is, if you think about it, let's just put another scenario that could be possible. She could be frustrated because also when she get home, the kids are vying for her attention when she wants to decompress. Yes.
Well,
so
she decompressing enough. She got 5 kids.
And that's the point. When she get home, some of what she's describing could be part of just her frustration on top of having to get home, and she's being pulled in different directions after coming home from work. But the thing is, we don't have enough substance. He could be doing all of those things, but she doesn't embrace it or doesn't I guess entertain it because she's
focused on what
he could do also is say, when your mother comes home, leave her ass alone for a little while. That could
I'm
be
not disputing that. I agree with that. But kids might want their mom. They have
the only thing is I've seen people have that dynamic where the woman is gone, like the woman is working and the man is home taking care of the stuff. And when he's taking care of what he has to take care of, like I never heard that woman complain. That's just my thing. Like I've never heard,
but I've seen
I've just never heard a woman. Yeah, I've never. I get it. I mean, I get what you're saying. I just haven't heard a woman complain when a man is doing what he has to do to take a load off of her if she's taking the financial burden.
And what I'm sharing with you is, I agree with you. I have seen where they haven't complained, and I've seen where they have.
Gotcha.
And that's what I'm referring to. That's what I'm relaying to you.
Sometimes they will, because taking on the bulk of the load is usually a masculine trait.
Right, for sure.
So, she's just naturally at this point probably operating in a masculine, state, and she's going to complain she's she may not complain on on the internet, or she may cry on the internet, but she's complaining somewhere. But she needs to take that frustration and those complaints and go somewhere where she can make it constructive to actually help the family, because that complaining and worrying about what your husband can't do as opposed to what he can do is going to be harmful to the family. Like, again, you're a team. And so if you can't find ways to work with him, working against him is just not going to, because inevitably you're working against the children too. Children can tell when their mom is unhappy. They can tell when mom is tired. They can tell when mom is, they can pick up on those things very easily. I mean, that child mother connection is very deep. So, the children definitely know her plight. They know what's going on. They can see what's going on. And, the way that she handles it definitely um can make or break the family. Even though he's not working, the way that she handles it can definitely make or break. And this is her time to, build her up and work on her wifely duties, her womanly duties, her skills, her communication, her compassion, her nurturing. Like, those are all things that go into a man being the husband and the father and the family. Is so important. Like, that it just can't go unnoticed, and it can't go unturned, because those things are very, very, very important. And if the woman in your life, the person that you married, is, putting you down, complaining, not there to kind of brainstorm with you and things of that nature, it could just really just send you down a downward spiral, honestly.
I agree with that. I agree with
I think she's also looking for a way out, because they've been married long enough, right? And I'm sure she knows some other married people, older married people, or if not, you go to the professional. You go into a woman who's single, and she's like she's trying to throw the Bible in there at the end, believe in God, but you just gave all this ungodly information. It makes no sense. So I think she just went to the wrong person to get advice from, and it goes to show how we just don't communicate enough. Sometimes you just got to stay up all night to get this out. Like, what is it that ain't working? Because if I'm coming home to a raggedy ass house and you've been here all day, to me, that man lacks something. But again, she's still giving up that monkey though. So,
right.
So if she come out of it, she gonna be traumatized by that. Because now, if you got your kids, now your baby mama, just Larry's giving her bad advice, you can find no, you pregnant, so you out for a whole nother year. Now he's, you know what I'm saying? And the guy, he'll probably elevate soon as she leave him. He'll do everything that she complaining about. But I think she needs to have a conversation and have those consistent conversations. But this is an opportunity for him to change the whole game, though. But
yeah, I think they definitely need a third party, because this is just bigger than her. It's bigger than him, So they definitely need someone to come in and do some mediation with them while they go through this, because that's a lot of married couples do split up, divorce, separate, because of issues like this. And I think Sean was saying it earlier, like, why did we get together in the first place? Why do we love each other? Like, you need to go back to the basics. You know how they say go back to the basics? Like, you got to go back to the basics. But it's bigger than just, oh, he's not working and let me call the Breakfast Club. Girl, you need to be on the line with a therapist or a counselor or someone that can actually give you some constructive advice to put some action plans into place where you can, he needs to be in a network of men who have resources and things of that nature. So, it's bigger than calling the Breakfast Club. Honestly, she should have never did that, because her husband knows her voice. And again, the wife has a huge part to play when things like this happen, because we all know that when a man ain't making money, his pride is down, his ego is down. Like there's so many things that are going on in his head, and the wife can be a make or break, a make or break deciding factor in this. So I just, it just sucks that just gave that type of advice to her. I would have definitely asked a lot of questions, and to really see what the wife did in her power to help empower her husband, instead of just saying, well, I asked him, to get a job and he just lays around and think. Like, you could just tell she is frustrated, tired, embarrassed, all of the above. Um, and I just really think that they need somebody else, a professional in there, to help guide them and put them on the right track, because it seems as though they're stuck. But at the end of the day, him being a man, knowing that he has that many people in a household to, provide for, he definitely needs to, bite the bullet, grab his balls, whatever y'all want to say. And he also needs to get out there and be a man, and take care of what he needs to take care of. And if at this time is to be a stay-at-home dad, then he needs to be the best stay-at-home dad there can be. All right. Thank you for those who are watching. I appreciate the likes on Facebook. Guys, if you haven't, definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us for the ride. So we have one more video that we're going to get into, and then we're going to get out of here. Dang, it's 1 o'clock already. Sheesh. But we're going to get into this video. I saw this video, and I wanted to get you guys' perspectives of a woman who took Hank's advice. Now, if you've been on this channel long enough, y'all know what Hank say. Y'all going to pick it up as soon as the lady say it. Okay. But the man left her at the restaurant. We're going to get into it.
This. Well, I've officially seen it all. My first 0 out of 10 date. This man left me at the restaurant while I was in the bathroom. I think I'm going to hang it up for a while. Yep. I don't have anything left to give. But if I'm honest, I never should have gone on the date in the first place. Everything was telling me not to. Everything. The signs were there, but I was like, I'll give him a chance. Nope. Follow your gut. Follow your gut. Everything was going fine. This guy and I had been talking for like 3 or 4 days. He asked me out to dinner for this weekend, today. Chose a cute little Cuban spot, made the plans, we figured out the time, all that jazz. He doesn't live here in Charlotte. It was about an hour and a half outside of Charlotte, so he drove in and got a hotel for the night. Where the problem started is he texted me this. I read that and I was like, oh.
So the text said something about her staying at his house.
Absolutely not. So I responded with this.
And she pretty much said she don't do sleepovers. You got her effed up.
And ever since that point, the vibes just turned in our conversation. But it was the day of the date, within like a few hours of it. So I had the decision to make of like, do I cancel this because it's kind of going left, or do I just go? He was apologetic because I guess he felt like I misunderstood what he was saying, but I personally feel like I knew exactly what he was saying. He thought this was going to be something that it wasn't. So he shows up, Hollister hoodie, jeans, no reservation, barely speaks on the date. It's so awkward. I'm so uncomfortable for the entire thing. I just order my food, quickly eat a little bit of it, put it in a to-go box. We barely speak for the majority of the dinner. barely. We just watched the live music. Then I decide to go to the bathroom, and when I come back, I'm going to ask him if he's ready to go. By the time I go and come back, I'm in the bathroom for maybe 2 minutes. I come back, he's gone. Vanished. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Granted, the date was over. He had already paid for the check. But I just think this is like, it's really something. Like, he could not even say, like, hey, I think I'm going to call it a night. Thanks so much for your time. Not even that. Because I called him on his bullshit. I called him on his bullshit. And he had a bad attitude. Men. Oh, and the most embarrassing part wasn't even this guy leaving. It was the walk of shame out of the restaurant with the waitresses saying, Lo siento. Well, I've officially seen it all.
Okay, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be real raw, and I'm going to be real matter of fact, because she came up with a follow-up video exposing him being a pastor, and you get all of the thousands of comments from girls that are in agreement with her. And here's the problem that I have. She said she called him out on his bullshit. There was no bullshit.
Right.
Men are always clear about what it is that they want. The problem that I'm having is that so many women were in agreement with this bullshit that she caused on herself. It's like, instead of women saying, why did I not have enough self-worth and self-love to cancel the date, because I could clearly see he only sees me as a release portal. He's trying to get me to spend the night. So of course, if she would have answered correctly and said, well, yeah, I can spend the night, it would have been worth it to him. But here's the thing. It's the fact that so many women condone this goofy, low tier, low caliber woman thinking. It is why men treat women the way that they do, because you have thousands and millions of women who are exactly like this woman, which is clueless. Everything led to, you know what, wait a minute. He ain't even feeling me. The man ain't feeling you. He's not feeling you. The fact that he left you on the date. This is why I have such a hard time coaching women, especially the more educated, degreed up, academically, intellectual they are, the dumber they are when it comes to man things and when it comes to womanly wisdom. Because they say they want God fear. I want a God-fearing man. But when you're not connected to your own femininity, spirituality, sensuality, and wisdom, you're not going to realize, oh, I should not go on this freaking date. This is not even a date. He just wants to use me as a release portal. It was desperate perfume she is wearing. And I bet she's very smart. I bet she has a good job and a nice home. And I bet she has pretty decent credit. And I bet, she's educated and dumb as shit when it comes to men. This is why it's so hard for women to get what they want in this world when it comes to men, because they're missing the key component, which is self-love, which is knowing what you deserve, and which is knowing how to use your femininity mixed with your spirituality. Because on the next video that she did, she said she talked to her mom who is in ministry or something like that, or her Southern Baptist mom. This is no conversation that you should be having with anybody else but yourself. You are looking, sis, whoever she is, you are looking for a amen section on your bullshit. You are looking for somebody to validate the fact that men ain't shit because you chose someone and chose to go out with somebody that wasn't shit. Then you came back and did a third video, because I watched it. Girl, he was a pastor. Now you got all of the calculating ass, bitter ass hens in the comment section agreeing with you. I only saw a few other than myself calling you out on it. You didn't respond to me though. This is what I deal with all the time with women. And she really thinks she called him out on her bullshit, but she doesn't see. That's what I'm saying. The delusion is so ingrained. You don't see that you didn't value yourself and you had desperate behavior. Because see, here's the thing. Women that don't flow in their femininity always get played, because they don't have their femininity to guide them. and they don't have any self-worth. See, when you tap really into that feminine side of who you are, there is it's like a suite of software that is downloaded inside of you. And one of those components, it's kind of like a Microsoft. You know, Microsoft, the disk back in the day, it came with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, all that. See, when you really tap into your girl and you really have the femininity, spirituality, sensuality, and wisdom, boundaries come with that. Self-worth comes with that. Okay? Self-love comes with that. Having a standard comes with that. The biggest problem that I see with women is they have no standard. Unless he has to make 6 figures, be 6 feet, have more than 6 inches, and a 6-pack. That's the basic standard. But most women that I have coached throughout my career are the same way as this woman, no matter how much money they make. I'm gonna tell you like this: the more money they make, the more degrees they have, the dumber they are when it comes to womanly wisdom and man stuff.
The longer she talked, the more I got frustrated with her. I think, I hear, about the lady, she's right. About the dude, listen, if you knew that the dude wanted to get laid, the dude's mistake was once he got that response from her, he should have called off the date himself. He shouldn't have went to the date if he was going to be miserable. I have a problem with this so-called dating coach because I know she's lying. As soon as she sees the man she wants, she's letting him bust her down, just like any other woman. It's just all bullshit. She talked a little bit too much. I agree with her about some of the women who have education, they don't know nothing about men. But then she talked a little bit too much. She just kept going.
What did she say that was wrong though?
No. Well, because she talked long enough for me to try to evaluate her. Right? Because she started saying shit like when a woman's in her femininity, you got standards and all that. We all know women throw that shit out for the right guy. They all do. Not all, but most of them do. You don't think I'm looking at her and I'm saying, you trying to tell me that she never gave nobody no ass unless it was completely right? I don't believe that.
No, I mean, but she didn't say that though. But I think that, but that's just but I don't know.
She's
critiquing
this other woman, right? Frank, I'm gonna let you go. She's critiquing this other woman, and her critique of that woman could be correct, but she kept talking. And she kept making statements that were more general than just this woman. All general women who have education, this and that, don't know standards. They have to have the 4 things she kept mentioning.
But she's going off of women that she's coaching. So if she's going off of women that she's coaching and she's saying that the women that, like, based off of my experience when I'm coaching women, the women who are more degreed up, the women who are making more money, they just seem to be the worst ones. Like, how could, like, what
I didn't say she was wrong on that, Frank. I said if she would have just left it at that, I would have just agreed. But she kept talking. She talked long enough for me to say, well, what kind of woman are you?
And that's something we don't know.
That's what I'm trying to say. She says she got all these other standards, but I'm saying she's in the, unless she's married. If she's married, then I'll shut up. But if she's out there, she likes men. I think she's not a lesbian. So how does she get down? Right? They have to follow some kind of criteria or what? She's got to be excited. She's got to be attracted to them. And they got to come correct. And if they come correct enough, do all of this shit that she just talked about, that's still on the table? Or she's got a couple of guys she bust down because he was just the right guy at the right time? So I believe, so I'm not saying she's wrong about the other lady. I think I didn't like her calling the guy he was full of shit. How she know he was full of shit? He tried to get some ass like all men do. That doesn't make him a bad guy.
So what April Mason was pretty much saying is, if that's what if the woman, if he was straightforward, right? He was like, spend the night. The message was really blurry, even just looking at it. But he was alluding to the fact, like, you can stay here and the girl picked up on that right away.
Right. She said
But
no.
leaving it there, she begrudgingly went on this date, with him. And what April Mason was pretty much saying is, use a little bit more wisdom. Like if you know that's what he's doing, right? And he's making it clear to you. He's not trying to sugarcoat it. He's not trying to trick you.
I agree with all that part.
I mean, the guy is going to still go on the date in hopes that she might change her mind.
No, well, I'm saying the guy should have once he found out she wasn't going to play, he should have called off the date.
Right, but
he should have called off the date. That's where I know we're talking about the woman, but he should have called off the date.
Right,
as opposed to being a miserable guy when he's there.
Men do still think that they're going to get lucky. Men going to push it to the limit every chance they get. They should say no. They should not go on a date. They should have self-control. But
that's the growth men need.
Men are still going to try to see.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
That he could still get what he wants. That's just the nature of a man. That's just the nature of a man. Y'all still going to push it to the limit to see if y'all want. And in the end, if you don't get it, he going to leave you at the restaurant, or he's not going to talk to you no more. But women got to shut it down. She has to shut that down. A man ain't going. A man. There's very few men who have good standards. There's very few that have good, moral standards.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
There's very few. Okay, men ain't shutting nothing down if it got two legs and a hole in the middle. Okay, they're just not gonna do it.
You talking to me? I'm famous for that.
He got to that restaurant. He realized that she ain't nothing like he thought she was. That wig was over her eyebrows and shit. He realized she wasn't all that. He paid for the dinner. Then he bounced. I mean, is he wrong? Yeah. Is he right?
Well, he paid for the dinner, so that's
but what I'm saying is, listen, he already knew what was up with her. But sometimes, guys, we know listen, when guys say we can come to the crib, we just throwing our fishing rod out. See if you bite that shit. Right. We ain't gonna be, because I'm sure he had a backup. I'm sure he had a backup plan, but
maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, but on that date, listen, he left her. Now, what again, I've done that same shit sometimes. You ain't nothing like you said.
You left a woman at the
restaurant. Yes, you don't talk to me crazy and think I'm just gonna know. Goodbye, and I ain't pay for the dinner. I ain't do none of that shit. Go to the bathroom. Yep, I'm gonna be done. Drove off by the time you back. But anyway, just in this situation from that, most women try to save face though. They don't want to look bad and regardless of whatever situation it is. The fact that she's made 3 videos, then she started to get to a space where she's almost just like go break defamation of character. She got worse and worse and worse just because I'm telling you, guys are visual. A woman pull up, you pretend to be. It ain't nothing wrong with him leaving. Maybe he could have said, you know what, this ain't gonna work out. Let's go ahead and break out soon as she got back. But he ain't even want to have nothing to do with her. She probably ain't talked to him since. So now she's like, where he at? Oh, he ain't gonna just leave me. But yeah, man, shit, do that shit.
3 videos. I mean, I've seen April Mason before talking that shit, man. Maybe I'm biased. You're a mute, Frank.
I'm about to say, I think she married to a dude they live here.
Okay.
But they live up in Fort Collins, but it's like 3 hours away and shit. But
she's been around for a while though.
But yeah, I think she was married to the singer Carl Thomas too before, or something like that.
Okay.
But
she got a nice rack, that's for sure.
Yeah, man.
She a hot man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know where to. I don't even know.
Start taking from the top, man.
I don't even know where to begin, bro. Like, damn. Let's see what happened. All right, so yeah, I agree. I agree with Precious. Though no dude is gonna be like, well, she didn't take my
Yeah, right. Okay.
my advance, and so I'm gonna shut the date down. Now, he's not gonna do that because she's still going on the date with him. So if she's still going on a date with him, it's like, man, well, maybe by the end of the night, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? But then when he got there, he like, oh, okay, this shit's still not happening either. But like I
Got
like
worse.
I like I yeah, like all right, well look now I'm gonna just sit back like you know what I mean? Like we go eat, you know what I mean? I'm gonna eat slow as shit. You know what I mean? Like cause I'm hoping you change your mind by the time I get done with my chicken. You know what I'm saying? She had time. So he was doing all that and you had time to take pictures of your food. Like that was the first thing I thought about. Like,
It
you
did
see
look
how
that
she didn't put
appetizing.
hey, you
It
see
did
she
look
didn't
that
put him
good.
in the you see she didn't put him in the photo either.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
no,
she did
but
take a picture of that food.
he took a picture of the food. She ain't
Lo siento.
right. No, but
That's
yeah,
funny.
I mean, I do feel like I mean maybe I don't know if she was just getting back out there, whatever the case may be. It does come off a little you can't have it both ways. Like it does seem a little desperate, but you can't have it both ways. Like you can't have it to where, oh, like he was just this and all of this, but then like I still decided to go out with him, and I still was on that date, and yeah, I ate and we had a good, and he paid for it. Like everything that you did, you know, from the time that you accepted that date, you knew what that man wanted. That man wanted them yams. He told you from the jump, look, I want you to spend a night. Bring your spend a night bag.
Yeah.
Right. Can I get to the yams? Facts. Like he let you know from the jump. And you know what I'm saying? I would just say that like the thing I will address the standards part. Like, if she really felt like she had these so high standards, she would have said, "Yo, you kind of came at me the wrong way. Like, I appreciate the date offer, but I'm a respectfully decline." Like, if your standards was really where you said they were, like then that's what you would have done. You wouldn't have read the message and been like, "Damn, he just want to smash." But I'm gonna go on this date. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like that's real life. I mean, now maybe she was, trying to be like the girl who was broke and getting ready to get put out, and she went on 6 dates a week just
Get a meal.
so she can have food. So she
Meal.
can have food. She said, well, she went on 3 dates a day for 6 days out of the week for 3 weeks so she could have food. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And she
It
said
was
she
a
ate a
girl.
little
It
bit.
was a girl that went viral for that.
Yeah. And she said she ate a little bit, then got a doggy bag. Nigga, we in the middle of this date. If you don't eat that shit,
Right. If you don't eat
you
that
done already,
whole,
you done already shut the date down by putting that shit in the doggy bag. What the hell?
like, so my whole thing is like, was she going there to see if there was any chemistry? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was your real
She went to go eat.
motivation to go on a date?
She went
It
to go
was
eat
to
a
get a
meal.
free meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she went.
But knowing his intentions, so then try to make him seem like a bad dude. Like,
But the one
nah,
thing,
like
okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so you're
that's
right.
crazy.
So April Mason was right on the other thing about that's why the dating market is so messed up, right? As opposed to ladies just saying, "Hey, man, I know what you want, and I'm not willing to give it to you."
Right.
I mean, so I think there's two alternatives, though. I would say, I told my daughter, I said, listen, if you want to go on a date with a guy, you know what he wants. She said, yeah. I said, listen, I mean, if you like somebody and you want to go on a date, I said, just tell them up front. We're not going to have sex. We can go Dutch, right? If you just want to hang out, we can hang out that way. I pay my
Right.
way, you pay yours. So there's no hint of obligation. Because every man take you out, like you said, Prince. We want the
Yeah, facts. And
you know.
but you know what gets me is the same thing about the girls who do the flew out thing. This is the same thing, but just on a smaller scale. The girls who get flown out by athletes, by rappers, entertainers, comedians, and then get there and be like, "Well, I flew out on my period, so he knew he would." No, he did not know he was not getting none, because he wouldn't have flew you out on your period. Like, nobody is wasting all that time, all that money. Nobody. And I seen a girl today talking about some. I told him that the flight was 880 and he sent me 880. He could have sent me a 1,000. No, I sent you the price of the ticket. And then she was like, and I got there, and then he was being a creep because he tried to put his hand between. You knew why you flew out. And this is why the shit be bugging me out, because girls be wanting that treatment. Like, you be wanting to get flown out sometimes, like, from these dudes, knowing these dudes are flying girls in and out. And
Can I ask you
then,
something, Frank? Let me ask you something on that point. Is it hurtful for trying to trick this guy? Or is that guy for not really being clear? Just sending him the money.
No.
The guy shouldn't the guy say, "Listen, if I'm paying for all of this stuff, I'm on some ass." Whatever. Should he say it upright?
Most of the time that they could, but most of the time that shit's implied.
No.
Like,
It is. Well, it is implied, right? It's implied all the time. But I'm saying that would it make a difference if the guy told a lady, "Listen, I'm not playing no games. If you accept my ticket and you come out here in the hotel room and all that, we're gonna have sex." She has a choice to make now, right? She has to say no if she's not going to do it,
right?
All right, but if she goes out there anyway, then he made it clear, so she can't say this horse shit that she didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I think
it's too many. It's too many videos. It's too many. You know what I'm saying? It's too many situations.
I think because the guys are bullshit. They think the imply is enough.
I think guys are letting them know, man. Guys ain't holding back like they used to. I think these dudes just tell the girl, "Listen, I want to fuck you."
Ain't nobody holding back. Facts, and not only that, normally it's not like a DM and then she's out there the next day. Like, it's normally like a DM. We talk for like a week, and then I fly you out like the next week or 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That's normally what it's like. So she already knows from that time. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, I'm sure there could be cases where a dude jump in the Instagram model page and just be like, "Yo, I got a ticket if you want it," and she'll be like, "Bet." You know what I'm saying? But they know when they get flown out, bro, that they are going to be getting tossed up and down that motherfucker. Ran all through.
But most things, listen, even though, like, because I used to get flued out, as they say. I used to get flued out. Right?
You had a WNBA player?
No, man. No, it was just hardworking women, man, that wanted to see me in person. And listen, I would say out of the I'm gonna give it a just a round down number. I ain't gonna say it's more or less. I'm just gonna say 10, right? Out of those 10 times, about 3 of them, once I got there, the whole dynamic about that changed. 2 times it was me saying, "You know what, I don't know about this." So I just play along and go out to eat and have great conversation. But I wasn't, and I never pushed up on a woman.
Yeah.
To be intimate. She had to come grab me. Now it was on, because I was never hard up for no ass. But there was a time when I remember I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling this little chick." She was looking at me like, "Well, we can't do nothing." I ain't know shit. but I wasn't tripping off of it. I just took it as an L. Like, you know what? Yeah. Shit happens. But even in meeting women, I'm just saying though, I think sometimes, but I think sometimes, man, listen, women they want us to look good too. And if you look just good enough, you ain't really got to spend no money on her. She gonna be like, "Look, we ain't got to let's get some wings. I know it's a little wing spot around the corner. We can go back to what we gonna do and handle it like it." But it just comes down to looks. Sometimes it ain't even about you 4 states away. She know you ain't gonna have no long distance relationship. You pull up on her looking all good and yummy, and she get all moist and shit. She know you over banging. But it just comes down to the situation to me. I mean, chalk it up, move on. Shit, ain't no big deal. To me, it just she got like light skin, bald head. Maybe my tan wasn't hitting right when I got there. I mean,
Hey man, that's Coach Ferg used to be on this John B. And he's on his Eric Benet. He's on his Eric Benet out there getting blown out, man.
Yeah, that shit happens, man. Hey, I ain't complaining. I just I sat over there, had a great time, man. A couple of days, came on back, man. Shit, but no big deal, man.
So if she didn't give you none, did you talk to her again?
I might talk to her for about a week and a half.
Nah,
I mean, but it wasn't. But it really wasn't. But after, you know, what was there to, you know, I could have been a good friend
to talk about.
Wasn't much to talk about. No, I mean, she could have told me, because I was gonna meet another woman, and what was I? Yeah, I met somebody. You know, we can talk on weekends. No, it was like it's over. And if she met a guy, I wasn't gonna be like, "Oh, you talking to somebody, man? I'm glad you found somebody. I'm glad you found what you was looking for."
So the end goal was coochie.
If listen, that wasn't the end goal.
Yeah,
if I was getting flued out, that was in the middle. I met her. I talked to her. Now I get in her face. We spending days in each other's face, you know, because the conversations lead up to that. Then I'm there. Now you can either accept me or deny me. So you know,
Craig, you ain't gotta lie.
Well, you know what it is when I get there. Once I get there, you know what it is.
She flew you out, so you know what it was when you got there.
That was my expectation. That was my expectation.
You wasn't gonna do her; she was gonna do you.
Well, however, I was gonna accept it, and she was gonna do me. I just wasn't gonna force that shit. I never cried in the car in white school. They was crying in the car.
Hey, Precious, you be flying them out?
No.
No.
Or don't.
Yeah, back then they had that.
He said no.
They didn't fly us out, man. They had glue on the wings of the planes and shit back then.
I guess I was a little too chocolate, man. I wasn't light skinned. I wasn't getting
it didn't have nothing to do with light skin, man. It's just how I used to talk to them. I just talked, man. I wasn't expecting nothing. And see, one thing I'm just saying in my dating scene, I never talked about sex. Oh, yeah. I never talked. I just let them know, listen, don't even get me wound up if you don't want to handle. Don't even insinuate nothing. Don't give me none of that. And then they
Coach, did you say that if you don't want the hammer? Did you say that to them?
No. Well, I didn't listen. I didn't use that word. I didn't use that word, but I'm using a YouTube word.
I was just because that's
listen. I didn't come out there for nothing.
You want the hammer? I think that shit would work though, Fur.
It worked. It worked. I'm trying to tell you.
You ain't out there for nothing. But why did the coochie got to be the something? Like why?
Because that's what's gonna keep us connected over those phone calls. I need something to keep me connected over the phone calls. I'm like, no, you pull Precious. Listen, they pull up on me. They got because they always came looking, you know, with that body. They came with that little something that's gonna show it off. Now, I got the room. We got the room. So that's it. It's on and cracking. Now we might go out to eat, go out a little dance because I like to boogie a little bit when I like to shake and see what she's shaking with. And it was all good after that. I wasn't forcing it. You know, she knew. She wasn't good. Man, I had people pay for everything. I used to have to beg to pay for shit. Then, like, I got everything. But those are the ones that they knew when they got there, it was on and cracking.
But they had to get something out the deal too. Shoot.
Well, if I didn't perform, I'd have been ass out. I'd been, you know, but I had to hold my end of the bargain.
Yeah, get some blue chew. Anyway.
No, man, I was young, man. I didn't need that shit.
Young.
Shit.
Hey.
I don't need that shit today. Shit. Some blue chew. Shit. You tell my wife that shit, she be done cuss your ass out. Motherfucker ain't getting no shit fucking with me. Shit. Nigga already act like shit, life is good sometimes, man. Shit. I just got lucky. Well, I ain't gonna feel I got lucky. Because she said she prayed for me, so I got blessed.
Oh my God, not Coach Ferg.
No, white school. I couldn't even wear no bell bottoms. That shit look crazy as hell.
That's how Coach Ferg got off the plane doing the Kendrick dance.
Somebody got to do it.
No, I couldn't even wear no bell bottoms. I look silly as hell, man.
Bell bottoms.
Imagine. All right, y'all. Well, that's going to conclude our show. We'll do final thoughts in just a sec. Thank you, everyone who has commented in the comments. Sean, who was on the panel. It was just Sean, right? It was just us tonight, right? I'm not forgetting anybody. But thank you so much for being here. Definitely hit that like button. If you're watching the replay, hit the like button, put an emoji down in the chat. Let us know that you're watching. Tell us where you're watching from. We want to know all your business. Not all your business. Just let us know where you're watching from. But thank you guys so much. This has been a great show. 1:35 in the morning. I'm about to pull out my robe on y'all. It's time to go now. Okay.
Robe come out.
We're going to get into the final thoughts, and then we're going to get up out of here. So we'll start with Coach Ferg, over to R-Pain, and end with Frank. Coach Ferg, final thoughts?
I mean, I'm sorry, yeah. I mean, it's a great show, man. We had a little bit of everything today, you know what I'm saying? The topic was very interesting. I don't give a damn. I'm going to say it. I'm being facetious, but I mean it. She don't give a fuck what a nigga say about me and my wife. I don't give a damn what no other man say. We good over here. I'm gonna be good. Y'all don't want to see me out on the streets, because you're gonna have to bring all that shit in documentation. I ain't taking your word. I want to see your credit report. I want to see your HIV test. I want to see what you look like at the family gathering. Yeah, I want to see all that shit. I want to see your rusty feet. I want to smell you. You're gonna have to go through some shit. I'm not bringing my resources just because you look good. Because there's 10 of y'all that look good to me. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I love and I'm in love with my wife, so it is what it is. I done had enough of playing in the what they say, in the pissy pool. I done had enough piss on me. I don't want nobody else's pee on me but my wife. She gonna take care of me till I leave, and I'm gonna take care of her.
So your wife pee on you? That's what you said? Hey, R-Pain, you heard what he just said. Nobody pee on me but my wife.
Hey, she has not. But I tell you what, if it was gonna save my life, goddamn it, you better let it rain. Let that shit rain if it's gonna save my life. Hell yeah. I don't want none of this non taking bath pee on me. This shit toxic as hell. But yeah, man, it's a great show, man. Very interesting.
Man. I hear you, man. I don't really have too much to say. I was hanging out with some fellas today that I work with. Man, I tell you, they still work. They work for the government, all of them.
That you worked with?
Yeah. I don't work, but a lot of them, they're still working. They got like a year or two. Trump and all these guys are driving them crazy with all the directives and shit like that. And I'm laughing. I just can't stop myself. I feel sorry for you guys. I'm so happy that I don't have to go through none of this shit. But yeah, so we're talking. They're still all thinking the same way. But it was funny hanging out with them, man. You guys are good guys, man. But that's where all the 6-figure men are. All those guys are making some good money. They still whining like they ain't making no money. That's the shit that bothers me. Still whining like crazy. They're making really good money. Families and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, man, so it was a good day. And so they was waiting for this the show tonight. So it was cool. Put out some stuff on my channel and stuff. I tell you, this AI generator for the music is fantastic. I'm like a songwriter now and shit. I'm a songwriter now.
I paid the songwriter.
And listen, I put one on our Instagram channel. I have like a ode to masculine men. That shit sounds so good. And I found out I got favorites because I always choose a woman's voice singing to me and shit. I said, damn, I like crooners too, but I don't want to hear no goddamn hard leg singing. So I put woman, all this stuff. And so the thing is, I come up with a theme, right? Ode to masculine men. And ChatGPT writes me a whole set of lyrics that I put to Donna, and it puts music to the lyrics. That's the name of the program. And the lyrics
what's her name?
The name of the
Yeah, his robot.
I thought her name
Yeah,
was
that's how it starts. That's how it starts. You know, at first it's a musical robot.
You're a robot.
This is how it starts. This is how the world comes to an end. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love it.
I bet you do look like an old Eddie Levert, though.
Oh man. Shoot. Anyway, so listen, I have a couple of those things on my channel. So I put it AI theme music. Volume 3 is the one I just put out. So I put a link into the Instagram thing we have. Go listen to it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Anyway, so that's all I have.
Hey man, another good night.
Computer love.
Right.
Exactly.
The white school tripping. She on one today.
I got wait a minute, before you go, Frank. I got one more.
Go ahead.
I got one more. You guys gonna think I'm crazy, right? JT, we were talking. I don't know if you were there, Ferg, when JT said something about that he was talking about 304s. He was calling them hoes. He said, "Yeah, man, you remember there's some sweet hoes from around the neighborhood."
He said that last week.
He coined this phrase. He said that was sweet. He said, "Yeah, we got a bunch of sweet hoes." So it gave me an idea. So I went to the music generator. I said, "Well, you know, put an ode to some sweet hoes." And I wrote a song called "Sweet Whores of the Midnight something." And it's so good. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
It's so good. It's a slow ballad, man, got a beat to it. And oh man.
Yeah, now we gotta drop our pain. First being mute, now our pain.
It's crazy. Like I said, it's on the Instagram thing, our channel. So y'all can go check it out.
You put it in the group chat?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That one.
Oh,
I'm telling you, I think it's pretty good. But okay, go ahead, Frank, man. Yeah.
Nah, man. Shout out to everybody, man. The good show as usual. Shout out to Miss Precious for having me. You know what I'm saying, having us. And it just was really dope, man. Always love the topics. I don't know how you do it, like where you be finding these joints at all the time, but every Wednesday, I like it's a good show. Like it, you know what I'm saying? So, and you know, as for the chat, man, y'all get real life, real time reactions. You feel me? We don't see none of these until y'all see it. So, you know what I'm saying? So y'all get real genuine reactions, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the dopest things, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody who came through. And yeah, I don't really got much tonight. I just want to say, you know, I appreciate you for having me over here. And you know, I definitely love the conversations. And you know, you brothers are always entertaining, man. So it's always a good time, man. That's all I got, Miss Precious.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you so much for being on the panel. Again, thank you for rearranging your schedules to join me on this Thursday, now Friday. But as far as the topic, I'm not in love with my wife. You know, we went over that, and you know, if you are married, you should be in love with you should actively be in love with her. Are you going to like her all the time? Probably not. Is she going to like you all the time? Probably not. But the love should be active. It definitely should be active. That self-awareness piece goes out to the last woman, even the woman that was in the video with Just Hilarious. Self-awareness is something that's very important. It's important when you're single. It's important when you're in a relationship. And when you're in a relationship, the self-awareness needs to be, okay, I am now a part of a team. When you are single, it is, okay, how do I continue to make myself better? How do I continue to make myself go in that forward direction, right? And so that self-awareness is very important, because when you are single, it does help you when you are in a relationship, because it tests, and it's a barometer of how you actually work with another person. And so, watching them guys say that they're not in love with their wife, to me just tells me that they're not totally self-aware. And they actually admitted that when they said, hey, being in a relationship with my wife is just a reflection of me. I'm still learning things about myself. And of course, you're going to learn things about yourself every single day of your life. But there should be principles and beliefs that you stand strong and firm on, so that the things that you are learning about yourself are not detriments to the relationship. They're not things that are going to hinder the relationship. If anything, it should help the relationship, being that you are learning new things about yourself. But self-awareness is so important. And I think that's something that, we don't necessarily talk about enough. Even the woman in the April Mason video, if she had enough self-awareness, then she would have said, and it's self-love, all that good stuff that April Mason was saying. If she had those things, she would know, you know what, I'm gonna just have to let this one down softly. Like, there's been guys where I'm just like, I'm sorry, it was nice meeting you, but I'm not looking to get to know you any further. And that's all you got to say. I think that's a lot of times women just don't know how to either say no or let guys down pain free. You know what I mean? It ain't always got to be a curse out. It ain't always got to be a situation where you calling people out of their names, or you got to belittle them, or you got to take it to a level where they don't want to talk to you ever again. There's a saying where I forget who said it or who quoted it, but leave people better off than when you found them, right? So if I'm letting you down softly, I'm not going to necessarily put you down. I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to do any of that. If I can't leave you better than what I found you, then you're just going to be left the same way you found me. Like, so, self-awareness is very, very important. And like I said, when you're single, is very important because it allows you to build the actual self-awareness to be in a relationship. And so, testing those things out don't necessarily have to be on a love interest or someone that you're interested in. It could be with your friends, it could be with your family, it can be with your coworkers. Those things can be tested out daily with people that you ain't trying to hump on. So test them out, be self-aware, and change the things that you need to change. And the things that you can't change, don't stress over. Just pray about it. I think people stress too much and pray too less. Like we ain't strong enough for everything that happened down here on earth. And I'm sure enough ain't gonna try and pretend like I am. There's just some things it's above me now. It is above me now, and that's where it's going to stay, because I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm damn sure not going to lose sleep over it, because we all know that I like my sleep. So with that being said, be real with yourself so you can be real with everybody else, y'all. We out. We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.